Here we go.
I'm a bit hungover. Yay!
I think we just caught that on stream. I'm a bit hungover too. However, not hungover from alcohol. Hungover from something else. From
Ooh.
fun. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second ever Great German Sculpt Off. This is something that Hydra and I experimented with once before. Oh shit, I meant to do a thing. Apparently I'm too hungover. Hold on. I don't know if anyone's even here.
No.
That would be unfortunate. Hi, everyone. Oh, wait, here we go. I'm going to turn on my video. Hi, everyone. I'm Modern Synthesist, otherwise known as Mr. Pink. And this is the Great German Sculpt Off. I'm here with my dear friend Hydra, who sometimes goes by Simon. And our goal today is to go over a list of suggestions that people had sent in to us about things they wanted to learn how to sculpt. And then both Hydra and I will take on the different things that people have suggested, and we'll see how it goes. And you can see how, like, possible different approaches for sculpting different things. However, don't worry about if you didn't suggest something that you wanted to sculpt, but you're here with us live for the stream. You can feel free to post it in the chat on YouTube. And our lovely host, who I haven't introduced yet, is Nora the Norn Queen, who is my Norn Queen. So welcome, Nora.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be on the stream.
You're welcome. Thank you for so insistently telling me that you wanted to help out with the stream. Even when I was like, hey, yeah, oh yeah, we'll totally do that. And then we didn't do it. So I'm glad we're doing it. Aren't you glad we're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get my ugly mug off this and get back to my workstation. All right. So I see we have Peter Hampson in the chat, and I think it's Ray? Renak Kicks. They joined us the other day.
Welcome.
There we go. Okay, so we have a list of suggestions that folks sent in. Thank you all for sending in your suggestions. I'm going to go over just like a high-level summary of the list that we got as comments on the on the Instagram post that I made. Sorry, just trying to fix my camera a bit. Much better. So we had suggested fire, which was a very popular suggestion. We'd had that before. Magic and energy effects, hands, a cowboy hat, faces, monstrous lips, long flowing hair / a powdered wig. Simon, do you know what a powdered wig is?
Yes.
Okay. Exposed muscle tissue. Sci-Fi armor, specifically chest or shoulder plates. Saddles or seats. Turbans or hats. Tyranid faces and heads. And then I think that was all I had. Was there any ones that you saw, Hydra, anywhere that people, or do you remember ones that people wanted before that I didn't capture in that list?
No.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good list. And
maybe because you go over the list what we have done before.
Oh, should I do that too?
Well, you could, in the post-production of this wonderful show, you could make a link to the previous video in here.
Oh. Look at how professional you are. Yeah, I can totally do that. I mean, I was planning to do that the whole time, of course. Yes, we did. Oh, we have Interested G joining us as well. That's new.
Hello, Interested G.
Yeah, we did do this once before, as I mentioned, and that is up on my YouTube channel. So if you look back through my YouTube archives and just search for Great German Sculpt Off, I think in that one we did like clothing and like robes and stuff like that, and fur. Was that it? Hoods?
Yeah, I have them with me from the last time.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, I think I made a backpack and a wooden leg.
Oh yeah, pouches. You did pouches.
Oh yeah, pouches. Lots of pouches on them.
Got this guy who got a cloak and got some fur last time. Simon, guess what? I bent his sword again. We really need to have that friggin' event in Germany so that I can use this guy and not break his sword again. So we got some fur and some cloak there. What else did I do? I thought there was something else. Oh, well,
How about breaking the sword on purpose and having him being the broken blade or something like that?
Oh, there we go. That could work. All right. Sorry, kind of all over the map. As I may have noted earlier, I don't know if we were streaming yet. It's my birthday around now, which is how part of the way that I strong-armed my wonderful friend Simon and my beautiful wife Nora into participating in this shit show. So thank you both for giving into my madness. And I might be a little slow off the mark today because we had a good party yesterday. So hopefully we can get through this.
It's all where we'll leave it.
All right. Okay, so do you have a strong feeling of what we should start with, Nora, as you're our hostess with the mostest?
Sure. So Eric firstly says happy birthday.
Thanks, Eric. I don't know if we've had Eric. I don't recognize Eric's name from the stream before, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been here.
Welcome, Eric. So I'm just looking at this very comprehensive list of items people have requested.
Yeah.
And I would personally love to see you guys go magic/energy effects.
Oh, god damn. I knew you were going to pick that one.
Uh,
All right. We have our first contestant. Magic/energy effects.
If you choose to accept this challenge, I'm sure it will come some very interesting things. And if you feel like it's a little too much for your post-party brain, I can suggest something else.
I think that that's a good suggestion, and I think that someone suggested it. How do you feel, Simon?
About the magic energy effect?
Yes.
Well, I have to admit that that's nothing I would usually do on my models. Because I'm not sure, but I think when it comes to energy effects, I would think about lightning that are cracking up and down a blade or something like that.
Yes.
And I honestly wouldn't use something as sculpted for that, but I would use a piece of root.
Ah, yeah, like a root from a tree.
So
Yeah.
you should go and find some roots right now, right?
Yes, luckily I have a little container with roots. But if you look at them, well, let's try it this way.
Nice.
They look like little lightning arches already.
Yeah.
And I would fix them to a blade, for example, with super glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and coat the whole wood piece in super glue, and afterwards you should be good to go.
Okay.
Nice. Before you guys proceed, just want to share a few more birthday wishes. We have Peter Hampson saying happy spawning day, modern synthesist.
Thank you, sir. It's very kind.
And Mark.
Oh,
I don't
Mark.
know which
Hey, Mark.
Mark, or because
No,
there's so many Marks.
Mark is a YouTube Mark. Mark is not one of our real world Marks.
Got it.
I haven't met Mark in the real world yet. Let's put it that way.
Cool. Says, oh, hope we see a potato, and happy birthday, Mr. Pinkleton.
A potato?
Someone suggested that in the comments, I guess.
Was there a joke about a potato? I missed it.
Where's the potato? No. I thought he was referring to our dog, maybe?
Oh.
I don't know.
Our dog is very much asleep, and that's how we can both do this right now. Yeah. I think we should keep it that way.
He is a bit of a potato, though.
He's a very active potato. I don't know that I'd call him a potato.
He's probably the most active potato ever.
Okay, so now that we're done talking about potatoes, this is a very challenging one, doing energy effects. And I honestly would suggest, not now, because you're taking part in our lovely stream, but when the stream's done, go look up, Christ, I lost it. Awesome Necron dude on Instagram. Help me, Simon.
Awesome Necron dude.
Who does the hot glue stuff?
Oh yes, I'm so bad at names.
Oh, you're the worst. I am also the worst. God, what is... I love this dude.
But
Uh,
if you Google hot glue things, that won't help you.
no. Damn it.
Something with a W.
Not story. Okay, anyway, there's this awesome artist on Instagram. I'm gonna try and figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Did I mention I'm a little bit hungover? And he does these really cool Necron models. He also does like really amazing sculptures, and he uses hot glue to make energy effects. So, oh, I just remembered something.
The War Singer.
Thank you. You did it. The War Singer. The War Singer is an amazing sculptor who also does miniatures, and he uses hot glue to create energy effects. And I believe that he was working with, is it Underhive? Underhiver. He did some kind of tutorial or something to show another artist how to do energy effects, Underhiver. And I don't know how well you can see this, but if you look at my screen, this is a Cryptek or something, not Cryptek, Aractek, the whatever the Vansar version is, that he made with advice from the Warsinger, and this is all hot glue. So I've never done this myself, and I actually was playing with the idea of trying to get. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of wire here that's reinforcing the hot glue. I was thinking of getting the Warsinger on here to talk about this for maybe another video, but it's a very effective technique.
Yeah.
However, as we don't have either of those people here, so let's figure it out.
Mark has a question mark next to the name Remleash with 2 S's. Does that ring a bell?
I don't know who that is. No, it was the Warsinger was who I was thinking of, but maybe I should check
Okay.
Remleash. I don't know if I'm following that person.
Okay. Eric is actually from Instagram, and I'm really happy that he's here because we've been in touch.
What's Eric's Instagram?
Oh Jesus!
Oh, I thought you knew. Okay, never mind. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make energy effects. A lot of my sculpting is very like armature based. That I try not to sculpt anything like straight from putty because putty can sag very easily. So I always want to have a good armature underneath. So what I would first do is I would find a wire that's like the right gauge for like what energy effect you want, and then I would like bend it into the shape that you want. I have a bunch of wires that I've just kind of like accrued over the years. These ones are pretty stiff. They bend pretty easily, but not super easily. But I have this weird stuff that I went to my local hobby shop and I was looking for brass rod. They didn't have brass rod, they had aluminum rod, and this bends like super easily. So you could get like a pair of pliers and you could like get kind of like forked lightning shapes with this. Get kind of the arcs that you want or whatever. And that would be a good start to like attach green stuff to, or putty to. The only challenge is that you need to kind of protect this because if it because it's so malleable, if it gets hit with something, it's gonna like bend again. Yeah. So you just want to make sure that as you place it, it's not super exposed. Like maybe you could kind of protect it with like the shape of the model or something like that, so that it doesn't get exposed to like pressure to make it bend again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would kind of make a lightning bolt or something like that out of this. And I would leave one side of it kind of like long as a pin to stick into like the hand of the person who's shooting the lightning bolt. And then you can just kind of mess around with it to get the shape you want. And if you want like forking lightning, I would say just like cut it and then get another piece and like add it on.
Yeah, that lightning bolt gave me an idea for a magic effect.
Yeah.
Well, it would be like a fireball,
Yeah. People
something
did
like
say
that.
fire, so fireball might be a good thing to do.
Yeah. So that would be basically the same thing, right? Just in another direction. I was thinking about magic or spell effects in general
Mm-hmm.
would be always be something that that would be magical. So it wouldn't happen on a usual surface.
Yeah.
And I think to one trick could be to sculpt them on a separate surface, not on a model, but on a separate surface, and afterwards, well, on a non-sticky surface, for example, like a
Oh,
lid
okay,
or
yeah.
a plastic lid. You sculpt it and you let it set, and once it's set, you just pop it off and glue it with a little wire in midair, for example.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
So I had a question, like when we talk about energy and magic effects, that's a pretty broad category. Like what kind of effects are we talking about? Like magnetism, shooting out sparks,
I think like shooting out sparks
shooting
is
out
kind of what
energy, lightning bolts, fire, purple magic dust sparks.
these all sound like good things
Mm.
that you could
But is
do.
there anything in the lore that speaks to that, or you'll just
Like
Uh,
decide
everything.
using your creative liberty?
everything. Yeah, that's a good answer. Simon?
Yeah, I would say everything. So
Mm.
because there's so different um, magic effects. It has, well, with Games Workshop has even a whole set of models that represent magic effects on the
Mm.
battlefield.
That's a really good point. That there's those endless spells. And
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm not a great person to talk about this because I should be like you should sculpt everything yourself. It's the best. But if Games
Nah.
Workshop makes a cool model for it and you don't mind it, why don't you just use that? Cuz their
Yeah.
plastic is going to be easier to mess around with, or at least you can modify something that they have to make it more akin to what you're looking for. Um,
But
I
if you're not set to work, if you're not set to participate in a Games Workshop event, you can also look at other companies
yep.
for good bits for magic effects. And since it would be just an effect on an existing model, I would go and look if I find a cheap model
Yeah.
to do that. And what springs to mind immediately would be Reaper Bones.
Yes.
They have all
So
kinds
that's a
of
model line for anyone who's not familiar. Reaper
yeah,
Bones. Reaper is the manufacturer, Bones is the line.
yeah. They have all kinds of well, they switched from metal to some kind of PVC plastic thing.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Um,
Entirely
and
or just for Bones?
I think entirely.
Yeah.
They have like Bones Black, which
Yeah.
is a line that's like super detailed,
Yeah.
and the rest is more for gaming pieces. But the individual models are way cheaper than anything from another manufacturer. So
And you're
yeah, if
saying
I
they
were
have good spell effects or
yeah, they have all kinds of weird things going around. Like they have such an amazingly wide range of individual uh, things going on. For example, they have like slime blobs cast in transparent material,
whoa, cool.
and there's so if you're looking for stuff like that, there's a good place to look. And
Okay.
I totally agree. If there's an existing model, why would you know stress it and sculpt it? For example, we got the request for hands. Why would I ever start
Yeah.
sculpting hands ever? Never.
Yeah.
Because I would utterly fail whenever I try once in a while and I feel like, oh, I just need a couple more fingers here or a hand bent around something there.
Yeah.
I always fail.
So what I'm doing is I took this very posable aluminum like rod wire, and I've wound it together at the base, and I put a little glue on there to keep it together. And then what I was gonna do is I'm gonna take that and kind of like, ideally what I would do is I'd drill a hole in this guy's hand, and I'd like I'd cut some of this off and I'd just stick the base of it in his hand. Actually, let's just do that. I'm gonna let this dry while I drill a hole.
Mm.
And this is
While
gonna be
you're
the
drilling
armature.
that hole,
Yeah.
Ray's wondering, what do Nids shoot? Maybe the gun effects for them.
What do Tyranids shoot?
Mm-hmm.
Simon?
Bugs. Big
Good
bugs
answer.
shooting little bugs.
Good answer.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I've been wondering. Well, if you have seen that Weird Witticism is doing some pretty creepy Tyranids currently,
Yeah.
and he used one of those bug swarms from Games Workshop for that effect.
Oh,
there's-
from like the Sylvaneth?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
The wood, the tree guys?
I think so, yeah. And that looked really creepy. Like a Tyranid mouth that's shooting those things. Well, I'm not feeling magic effects. I'm sorry. I just
You
don't.
bastard.
Yeah, I know.
Nora, do you want to find something that this fancy man is more feeling? While I work on magic effects.
Okay, so other options include. Okay, let me just think. What would be something cool Simon could do? Oh, what about Monstrous Lips?
Yes! The death chicken gets monstrous lips. I love it.
I don't even
I'm
know
not
what
sure
that
what kind
refers
of lips those
to,
were.
and what creature would have such
Okay.
monstrous lips.
So,
but I feel
little
like I need some
context.
context. Yes,
Simon.
please.
Squigs.
Yes.
Picture a squig mouth.
Yes.
That's the kind of lips that we're talking.
Okay.
So it's like a monster with like big toothy maw kind of thing, and then just like the lips around it. So maybe like the gums, and I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
The person who suggested that, and then they also suggested this Nurgle. I don't know. Do you know Sloppity Bile Piper, Simon?
What? No.
Oh, it's this really cool Nurgle character model.
Does he have like a mouth?
Yeah, and it has a
his mouth?
bagpipe, and he like plays a
Yeah.
bagpipe. Yeah, and there's a mouth on his shoulder that's like talking.
Yeah.
That was what they were they mentioned. Can't remember exactly whose suggestion that was, but
So big monstrous lips. I'm just trying to find something I could sculpt them on right now.
do you have a big mouth somewhere or no?
Yeah, I don't have anything big that would need a big mouth right now. Let me see. If there's anything close by I can grab. Yes. Now, how about we sculpt that on a spider?
That sounds pretty good. Oh, and for Ray, I hold on. I kind of pursued this Tyranid angle with my Crute. I just have to go find what I'm going to show you. The idea of like what a Tyranid weapon is going to shoot, and I found a pretty sweet solution for it. I just need to find the box. One second.
Peter's saying that the one with the big mouth is the Spoilpox Scrivener.
There we go. I guess
Okay.
Sloppity Bile Piper is the one who like plays the bagpipe, and I'm confusing them all. Oh, here we go.
Okay, let's assume that this spider's back is just the mouth.
Sure.
And I'm going to sculpt the lips on the back of that. So lips are basically two sausages, and I'm going to over exaggerate them a bit so it's easier to pick up on the screen.
Yeah.
But basically, you want two sausages that are like sausages that are pointy at the tips. Not like a... Wow, what are you doing there?
Sounds
Not
like he's
straight
digging
tips?
through some boxes of materials.
Yeah, that sounds like it. So around 2 equal sausages, and okay, I mixed for that some green stuff with epoxy sculpt. Epoxy sculpt is important for that, in my opinion, because it helps blend things together more easily. I will show you in a sec. Okay, so these lips are still too big. Okay, it's rather important to have like a real sausage, like that it's already flat, and you'll see that in a bit. So I'm going for closed mouth with that. And I apply one lip, the upper lip, and gently press it onto the model because I have the mix of green stuff and epoxy sculpt that's still very sticky. And then we go for the lower lip, and it already starts looking like a mouth, doesn't it?
Ooh, what a pretty mouth.
But that's not a mouth by now. So here comes the blending part. So I'll try to show that. Because the mouth right now looks like two, sausages. So I take my little tool and press the green stuff downwards just a bit, not the whole sausage, but the I would say the last third of it, and therefore make a smooth transition onto the surface of what's ever below it.
Yeah.
So because since the lips are nothing more than two, like basically sausages pressed together, I already have the slit between the lips, and I don't need to add anything to that already. I just need to blend the rest onto the model. And yeah, I will give them a little smirk. So this goes upwards a bit on one side. And once I have just fixed that to the ground, I take the rubber tip tool and blend it even further, smooth it out. There you go. Okay, and then I turn the whole thing around and do it on the upper lip.
So while you're doing that, when we were talking about like Tyranid weapons and stuff like that, so when I was making my Crute, I need to get back to them soon. I asked friends of mine who I really admire if they wanted to create any Crute to join my little force. And of course, Simon made one, which is amazing, and it's over there getting painted eventually. But Bits of Box also made some Crute for me, and I talked about how my Crute were supposed to be kind of feral and using kind of like rudimentary weapons. So he made some Crute that had slings that they were like they were throwing. They were using the slings to kind of throw. The idea is Tyranid weapons back at them. And the idea for these guys is that they're carrying around like little flesh bore ammunition pouches, but I needed to represent the actual ammunition that goes in the guns. So I was kind of stuck as to like how I was going to represent like a Tyranid ammo organism. But then I bought some of the Games Workshop barbed bracken. It's like this kit for like putting plants on bases. And if you take a close look at this barbed bracken, I thought that these things look like creepy little Tyranid organisms, possibly, if you painted them the right way. And even these other guys could. So what I did was I cut those off and kind of cut them up a bit. And these guys are actually flinging the barbed bracken as like creepy Tyranid beetle things. The only downside with the barbed bracken, and then I have like some of the barbed bracken like climbing out of their ammo clips on them. To like, it doesn't really make sense that big thing fits in that tiny ammo clip, but who cares? I tried to do my own thing here, and it wasn't really great. It's like a little spider thing. But that's one way to represent Tyranid ammo. But I guess there's a couple more coming out there. I guess what Ray is saying is it sounds more like the effects of like the muzzle flashes on Tyranid guns.
Okay.
I picture those as being very wet, like whereas like a typical firearm. Oh, you can probably see it better on this guy where he's got the barbed bracket in here, and he's got a couple of them climbing out of his thing there. The only downside is that this plastic is slightly more rubbery than the plastic of normally Games Workshop models, but you can still paint it. So, but if you're thinking about muzzle flashes, like a firearm would have like fire shooting out of the end of it, and there's a lot of companies that make those, both for like jet packs and stuff like that, like flames that you can attach to your guys, or like flames coming out of guns. For Tyranids, I just picture it more as like splats.
Yeah.
Dwarfenage, welcome, buddy.
He wants to
Hello.
know what has been done so far.
Hey Nora, what has been done so far?
I
Um,
sculpted some big lips.
yes, and Nick is working on some bug slinging effects.
No, this is energy effects.
Sorry, energy effects.
So Hydra was too scared to do energy effects, so I said that I was going to do it. And what I did was I took two pieces of this kind of aluminum. It's like an aluminum rod that I bought.
I
for
wasn't
pinning.
too scared. I just said I would use roots, and you insisted on bending wire into the shape of a root.
Okay, yes, he would use roots. He's got roots. He doesn't have to sculpt it because he's got roots. But I am trying to produce something for people to see. So I've created this armature made out of this aluminum wire. And what I did then is I drilled onto the palm of this miniature about the right size for the two pieces of aluminum wire that I wound together. And then I'm going to put some more glue on that. I wanted to accelerate this glue hardening. In my other video that I did recently, I talked about how you could put baking soda to harden super glue immediately. Another way to harden super glue immediately is to dip it in water. I don't think it's as strong a bond as if you put baking soda on it. But I have water here, and I don't have baking soda here, so I just did that. So yeah, now I gotta take my energy effect, and I'm gonna plug it into that hole that I drilled in his palm. And the beauty of these aluminum wires is that you can kind of position them. Oh, you don't want to bend them too much because, damn, just barely fits. So I want his hand to kind of hide the part where they're twisted together and make it look like it's kind of firing out of there. I kind of wanted them turned this way. Whatever.
Okay, while you are
Making roots?
making roots, as you can see, I took my large rubber tool and made the little dent into the upper lip that sort of gives it the definition of the upper lip. And now all I'm going to do is just add some very thin lines with the tip of my sculpting tool, or even a blade, because I don't want it to be too rough into the fold between the lips to imitate the little wrinkles that are there.
Mm-hmm.
You could emphasize them even more, which would probably be fitting for, yeah, like orc mouth or anything like that. It's just there to give it a little texture, the surface, and to break it up a bit. And I'm not doing them straight, but in an angle, like the upper lip. So the angle is outward. So you start in the middle of the mouth and go either in the direction of the eyes or the shoulders, if you would say so. Yeah, and there, Monstrous Lips are done. And now this spider is ready to kiss ass.
I was gonna say the lips are so perky, very of today's trend of full-on monster lips.
Yes.
Is that a thing? Is that like a beauty thing?
Well, not so monster lips, but it looks like he's probably got a little bit of lip filler done
Yeah, just a little bit.
on both sides. He wants like Angelina Jolie like pillow lips.
Of course, you can
Angelina.
always push them backwards. I over-exaggerated here, I said.
Well, they really are monstrous lips, so I think you
Yep.
definitely achieved that. So well done. We
Thank
have
you.
Tom Wilson who has joined,
Hey, Tom. Welcome.
Hello.
and he got the Dwarfinish says he got the Botox. Actually, Botox is for the I think it's like a toxin for like the nerve, so it helps make the lips anti-wrinkle. But I don't ask me why I know all of this, but
Okay.
yes, we often think it's Botox.
So, what do you put in your lips if you want to make them plump?
You use a lip
Collagen?
filler.
Lip filler. Okay.
Hmm. Peter says the lips on the spider abdomen are actually kind of disturbing. I like them.
Mm.
Hydra
I do like it.
sculpted something disturbing, shocking.
Excellent.
Stop the clock.
Would you like another challenge, Simon?
I didn't wait for it. I'm already proceeding because I have like a little setup here, and for what I want to do with my little death chicken.
Okay. What's
And
going on with your death chicken?
my death chicken. There was a request for exposed muscle tissue,
Yep.
Okay.
and I was about to give this death chicken here a little exposed muscle tissue on the upper leg
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah.
So first thing is that my advice would be to have reference muscles.
A picture.
Yeah, either a picture or in my case I have like leg
You're just
1
really
and leg
strong.
2.
You're just really ripped.
Yeah, well I just well at first I flatten out my green stuff and especially I think it's important to blend in the lines on the border. So
Mhm.
everything starts with a blob, and where the death the monster lips, I squeeze the sausages together to get this to get the line between both lips.
Yeah.
I didn't sculpt them. I didn't push them in. I just squeezed the sausages gently together, and therefore got the curviness of the whole thing. Um, but I want to have an area of the model like sculpted. So first I make sure to blend my putty onto the rest of the model so I have an easy transition. Again, this is made more easier with epoxy sculpt because pure green stuff would make it, yeah, it's doable, but it's easier with epoxy sculpt. There comes the benefit of the epoxy sculpt clay-like, um, you know, things. So now I have my blob onto the leg, and now I look on the other side and see where the muscle tissue, where the muscle lines are. So we have basically two muscle lines in the middle and one muscle line up here and something in the back. So I go forth and use my, well, I guess I will use my silicone tip thing here with a pointy tip to translate those lines from the muscles on this side onto the other one. So I just roughly shape out those lines. I could have done like starting with sausages again, but I will show you in a sec why I did not.
Yep.
So I'm sketching out.
Would you consider adding a cowboy hat on your death chicken?
Only if Symbio
Yes,
Joe's here to ask for
absolutely.
it in person.
What?
I said only if Symbio Joe is here to ask for it in person. That was Symbio Joe's suggestion, the cowboy hat.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you could do it, but I just don't know if there's that many people who want to do it. I don't know if Symbio Joe even actually needs to do a cowboy hat, or if he was just blowing smoke up our butts.
Okay. So I'm having the rough muscle tissue up here you can see flatten out. I held my tool rather flat, so I had more time to figure out how those muscle pieces go. And now I use the very tip to deepen the line in between the different muscle strains. So they're more easily to point out. And now, here comes why I did not sculpt them from sausages, because I want the transition around. I want the skin to be cracked open. So, and here's another benefit of the mix of epoxy sculpt and green stuff, because when I use the tip of my little blade here, I can, with a little flicking movement, like actually rip the putty away, and it looks like torn skin.
Nice.
So with a little, so it's a little rough, as you can see here, but that, I think that adds greatly to the effect that it feels like it's burst open.
Mm-hmm.
So with this little flicking movement, I just tear it away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do too much, but now it looks like the Kentucky Fried burst open. Okay, so now onwards to the tissue. So muscle are strains that are consistent of smaller strains, right? And so I start with my You can either use a sculpting tool, but since they're very delicate lines, I would rather use this former blade and start drawing gently lines onto those single strains. But try to, if they would be wider, I would have them curved. So there's always a tip on both sides where the muscle turns into sinew, and that attaches the muscle to the bone, right?
Yeah.
So those are where all those lines come together. So I think this is it. Just have to make sure you get those curvy lines in there.
Whereas
Okay.
on my end, I did the aluminum wire to get the feeling of the electric currents or the lightning bolts or whatever. But I want, because this stuff is still very malleable, it's still very bendable. If you just pressed on it, it would bend. I'm trying to reinforce it a bit with putty. I don't want to put too much putty on it because I don't want to make it too thick. But at the same time, when I picture the lightning, I picture it being strongest coming from the hand and then kind of questing out to the ends. So the ends I picture being skinnier. So you can kind of bulk up the base of each of the bolts with some putty. For this though, I usually use the mix like Simon's using of epoxy putty and green stuff. For this, I'm just using pure green stuff because green stuff is very elastic and kind of malleable. It's elastic, but it's also rubberized, when it hardens. So I think Simon might have taught me this, that if you want to have something sticking out from your model, you should make it with green stuff, because when you hit it, it'll just go boing, it'll kind of bend a little and then it'll bend back. Whereas if you were to do it with epoxy sculpt, that's a little more brittle, so you could risk snapping it. So I'm just kind of relying on the flexible nature of green stuff when it's hardened, because I know this thing's going to be projecting out from the body. Also, green stuff is stickier than epoxy sculpt, and if you've ever tried to apply putty like this to a wire armature, it's hard sometimes to keep the putty sticking to it. Your best bet is to kind of wrap it around the piece. Don't just lay it on top and try and push it down. If you wind it around, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If you wind it around, I find it tends to stick to the wire a little better. So like I got this, I'm gonna make a skinny little snake of pure green stuff here. And I'm gonna take the thickest part and I'm gonna kind of, oh, I need a tool. Take the
So
thickest.
Flynn the hammer has arrived.
Hey, Flynn.
Flynn.
And yeah, and he says, "Yay, more of Hydra's tentacle-faced beasties."
Nah. We'll see how that goes with this one because it's going to have a cowboy hat, but
Well, Dorfrinish says he saw a guy do it. I'm assuming the cowboy hat. Used a small circle of plastic card, put it on the head with some trimming, sculpted the lips of the hat, and then after that cured, he sculpted the bump, maybe part of the hat.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
There you go,
So-
Simon. There's your tips.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm right now starting with a saddle on my chicken here.
Yeah.
And so a saddle always
It's
is
totally going to be a cowboy chicken, isn't it?
yes.
Cowboys
saddle is
versus
chick-
alien chickens.
Oh, nice. Good reference. Do you know that movie, Simon? Cowboys versus Aliens?
Yes.
There you go.
One of the weaker David Craig movies.
David what?
Isn't it David Craig?
I don't know.
Yes.
Daniel Craig?
Craig.
Daniel Craig, sorry.
Yeah, the James Bond guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I haven't actually seen it. Just everyone tells me it's really good.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, well.
You don't think so?
Hmm.
Apparently the
I don't-
alien design was no hell if you didn't like it.
Anyhow, so a saddle is fixed to the steed with a strap, a leather strap, and I made a green stuff sausage. Again, everything starts with a sausage. It's the Germans after all. And
Hey. There's a bit of
I
wordplay in there.
yeah
Also an egg. A sausage and an egg.
worked on that all night. So
Oh, busy man.
So I just made a sausage, rolled that sausage flat, and yeah, just laid it around, and there we have the strap that is going to hold the saddle. But you could stop there. But I want a little piece of because that leather strap is like fixed below the seat of the saddle, and that strap will come backwards and have like little like a buckle belt.
Belt buckle, yeah. You got it right.
Yeah. So the belt, the buckle will be hidden under the seat, but there's still this piece of leather strap coming downwards. So I will use my trustworthy and not present needle sculpting device. Where are you? There you are. And
We got some things going on in the chat,
Yep.
folks. Like Tom and Dorfinage agreed that Cowboys and Aliens is not a good film. Okay, now we know.
We were
and
actually, didn't
Flynn-
someone tell us to watch it, Nora?
Someone did, and actually, I do still kind of want to see it, even if it's not like the most amazing film ever. I mean, like we do regularly watch like not like the best films, but they can still be entertaining.
Yeah.
yeah.
As long as the aliens are good, then whatever. It's
Well,
like
that's the
Pacific
question.
Rim.
Are the aliens good?
Yeah, are the aliens group
What do you guys
good?
say?
Flynn is popping off some good puns, like sausages are the worst,
First.
and also says, and everyone's saying poo-pooing his bad pun, and then he says, but does it deserve a punishment?
Oh my god. He set that one up
He's
way
on
back.
fire.
He is on fire. Peter
Punishment
gave
is
him
the...
a little
I don't
smack.
know. I think punishment... I think you can do better than punishment. That's an obvious pun. I guess all puns are obvious. Never mind.
Tom
Yeah, this
says that
one was.
Cowboys and Aliens was a decent cast, but they all phoned in their performances, probably because it was called Cowboys versus Aliens.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
fair enough.
So on the energy bolt front, so I wrapped some putty around the aluminum because it's pure green stuff. It's sticking pretty well. And then what you could do is you could do a very thin. I've told people before that if when you're working with an armature and it's hard to get green stuff to stick to it, you can do like a very thin layer of green stuff and then come back and do a very thin detail layer over that. But when you're doing energy effects and it's supposed to be like a lightning bolt, I think it's already supposed to be pretty thin. So I'm trying to get like a good shape just in this first layer of green stuff that I've applied. And I'm using the armature as kind of a guide for the shape of the bolt. But again, as I add the putty, it's making it thicker and it's not as, yeah, it's not exactly what I had done in the aluminum rod, but it's just kind of like a guide. And then I'm just trying to make it, like I said, thicker towards the hand and then taper towards the end. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I'm basically sculpting a root. So maybe you should just take Hydra's suggestion, go and find some roots, and use that as your energy thing. But if you want to do it yourself, yeah, get the rough shape and then just kind of go and I guess smooth it out because lightning bolts are pretty smooth. Using, of course, Nivea, our favorite lubrication tool of choice if you're new to our sculpting videos. I use this to lubricate my tools. I keep a little bit of it on the back of my hand. I take my tool.
Yeah, my
kinda,
thumb is not rotting here.
there you go. Just I rub it a bit, and then you don't even need that much on the tool, just like a thin film, and then that's enough to keep the green stuff from sticking, and you can get really smooth lines with it.
You'd be surprised that well, I'm surprised Nivea hasn't gone in on this endorsement situation going on here.
Clearly, we should contact them and be like,
There is
hey,
Nivea men, and I know there's probably a lot of
ooh,
gentlemen who are
maybe
watching
we need to
this,
get
so
Nivea men, Simon. Maybe our sculpting
It
would be even
smells
more
like
manly.
hell, and
Our
it
Oh,
doesn't
sculpting
have
you've
the
used
same.
it.
Yeah, I used it, and it has a very strong scent to
Manly
it.
smell.
Yes,
Did you feel manly?
because it's made for men, you obviously have to be very smelly if you're a man. So okay, so next step would be I actually, while I'm doing this, I have Googled up some pictures of a saddle
Yeah.
to get as close to this as possible. And yeah, so there appears to be like the strap that's holding down the whole saddle thing, and below that, no, even above it. So I would have another set of straps where the feet would go in. So the question would be if I want to have a rider on that or not. So if I would have a rider, I would see to it that I have the miniature ready. Then I would apply a little bit of green stuff up there and just squeeze the rider onto it. So the green stuff would squeeze on the back and on the fourth like a little bit upwards, and therefore you have like the saddle and you're done. And I'm not going to bother and sculpt the little.
Angry
I
Chicken
have
Rider?
no, I have no idea what the word for is where you put your feet into.
Oh, stirrups.
Yes.
A stirrup.
Bless you. I'm not going to bother to sculpt them because I think they're things that don't scale down very well.
Ah, good point.
So they would just break off eventually. So I'm just sculpting the seat
Yep.
onto those things. Yeah, and it all starts again with a sausage, which I squeeze on gently.
Don't want to squeeze your sausage too hard. Pop the casing.
Oh my.
Wind up with sausage meat everywhere.
Yes.
We have some people agreeing that Nivea has just done wonders for their skin, like Flynn. The back of my left hand has really benefited.
Yep.
And Dwarfinish says to me, Nivea is the smallest sculpting.
I like that. Oh man, I feel like that needs to be a sticker. Nivea is the smell of sculpting.
He also has a tip. He uses the big bottle of body lotion. It has a nice little smell.
What?
Hmm.
I don't know if that means that it doesn't smell as intensely as the original Nivea. I actually find like Nivea itself to be very strong smelling.
Yeah, you'll come into my cave and you'll be like, why does it smell like hand cream and plastic in here?
This is true.
And I'm like, I swear I wasn't making models.
I guess you could get Nivea sensitive, which is
Oh.
scentless. If any of you are, because we do have, people who are sensitive to smells.
Smart.
You can still benefit from Nivea while sculpting, but not have to deal with the fumes.
Interesting.
Okay.
I didn't think about that. I don't know if the I
Hmm.
don't know if I endorse it for sculpting because who knows if the formula is the same, but good thing to try.
I have been using this little pot for years now, and this doesn't smell a bit. So maybe it's
Maybe you're
another
used
trick.
to it?
No, I just tried and doesn't. Well, there's still a very faint smell to it, but
Yeah.
And because it's so old, it's probably like
yeah,
past its prime dates.
yeah.
But
But
so
it
are
still
we,
works.
so who cares?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, so I think I'm kind of done this energy beam. I don't think I need to do another one, but you get the idea. Like, I made an armature out of wire. I could attached it with another piece of armature wire that's going to be the other beam. I wound them together at the base. I glued them into a hole that I drilled in the guy's hand. And then I've just reinforced this one with some green stuff, thicker at the base, thinner as it gets towards the tip. And then the very tip is unreinforced with green stuff. It's just the metal wire. And yeah, so when this hardens, hopefully if you were to like hit this, it wouldn't bend again because the green stuff is reinforcing it and the green stuff is flexible. I'm not going to bother doing the second one because people have an idea. So yeah, that's how I'd say you do energy effects. And then like if you want like a fireball, you could always just take an armature, do like a curve, and then like put the ball in the end. Yeah. Although one of the things that we were asked to sculpt is fire, so now I'm wondering if I should like. And
I
then
was actually gonna ask you if you would be interested in trying fire next.
sure. So this for this bolt I made it pretty smooth, but you could just go in and put like little lines in it if you want it to have like the bolt to have like facets to it. I don't know. Fire. I feel like I want to put like his other fist on fire, but I don't know if I can really do that. I've never actually sculpted fire before, so I'll have to figure it out, but I'm willing to take a gamble.
So, okay.
What are you saying, Simon?
I was just reading Dwarfinage's comments about Nivea and the oil in it, and if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Nivea is an emulsion between fat and water,
Okay.
and therefore it works so well for our purposes because you could use like a lotion that is, for example, Vaseline.
Mhm.
That would be like almost pure fat, but you would have to wash your. So, for example, if I would use Vaseline, I would need to wash the surface between each layer. So I have the strap. I need to wash it, then have the first leather patch. Need to wash that, and then add the last layer because the fat would stay there for a longer time. But since
I think it's the
Nivea is
oil. I think you mean the oil.
what?
Uh, Oil and fat. It's
Yeah.
fat is like the thing you get on an animal. So what Nivea leaves behind is oil.
Okay.
But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right that it doesn't. You can't paint over oil, right?
Yeah. And you can sculpt over oil.
You can or you can't.
You cannot,
Oh, gotcha.
because what we have here is resin, right? So
Yeah.
green stuff is basically resin, and that doesn't like fat and water, and Nivea is both.
Okay.
So it has. I'm actually looking at its ingredients now that we're kind of
Look at
including
this.
Nivea.
Nora's all over this.
Well, it sounds like it's a key sculpting tool,
It
sort
is?
of.
Definitely.
So it's mostly water. Second ingredient is mineral oil. The third, which is an emollient slash solvent. The third ingredient is petrolatum, which is also an emollient.
Okay.
Kind of like that famous Vaseline or petroleum jelly. And then the fourth product is glycerin, which is a moisturizer.
Okay.
Hmm
Nice.
And then it's got a few other things like lanolin, alcohol, paraffin, and all the other ones are probably just stabilizers for Nivea. But yes, it's mostly like the emollients oils.
Thanks.
Hmm
There you go.
Learn something new about Nivea and how awesome it is every day.
It also does have some preservatives that can irritate your skin.
That makes sense for a hand cream.
Mm-hmm. And a fragrance that's made of 30 to 50 different kinds of chemicals.
Science! That's the answer. It's science.
Probably not healthy as well, but who cares?
Gets the job done.
Yeah, so little of what we're doing here is healthy.
Starting with the plastic miniatures.
Orphanage just got a different question. Now moving
Yeah.
away from Nivea. He says, I need good drill bits for my pin vise. I could use some advice on brands or something. The last 3 sets I've gotten have been useless trash.
Yo, were you not here when I talked to... Oh, I don't know when I talked about that. Was that in the Gaunt video?
I think, yeah, I think
Or
it was
stream?
in what on stream.
So, yes, I feel like that was a plant because I just got out my... Oh, I don't know if I did this off screen, but I got out my my God Hands. So this is not some kind of weird Reddit stock thing, God Hands. This is a Japanese brand. It's called God Hand. And they do a bunch of different things. They're pretty famous in the Warhammer community for their nippers, like their clippers, because they've got really good clippers. But I discovered them for drill bits. And these bits are pretty good. Like I had this box before and I snapped one of them. So they're not invincible. But the beauty of these is that, oh, this is where we talked about chucks and whatever the heck the other word is that I can't remember. When you get a standard drill bit, the bit on the end is the same length as like the shaft that goes down into your pin vise. However, with these ones, the shaft is the same for all of them. So no matter what size, like you have bits here that go from 1.1 millimeters stepping up to 2.9 millimeters. In fact, like this set is like the bridge set, so it's like 1.5, 2, 2.53. And I can take a 1.0 millimeter drill bit and a 3 millimeter drill bit, and I can shove them into the exact same chuck or whatever. It's not called a chuck. I can't remember what we call it. Thank you, Flinthammer. Into the same collet on my pin vise. I never have to change this thing. I never have to flip it around. And even the really small ones that I have here, they are a 0.5 millimeter to a 0.9 millimeter. Their shaft size is smaller than the ones on the other 3. However, they'll still fit in the same collet. I just have to crank it down more. So when you put the larger ones in the collet, they fit pretty tightly. But you can put these ones in and you crank it right down, and they still fit. So yes, God Hand. I got these at my friendly local gaming store. I think they were like $15 or $20 each for the set. So they're not cheap, but they made a mistake in that I went in there and I ordered the A set. I ordered the D set. Sorry. I ordered the A set, I ordered the C set, and I ordered the D set because I didn't have these. I had this one, but I'd lost one of them and broke another one. So I was like, whatever, I don't care. But they were like, oh, you must want the B set too. You clearly missed that one. So they gave me this for free, which was pretty awesome. So not cheap, but I'd say worth it.
That's cool.
It's another sponsor we should contact. God Hand. But yeah, they between the bolter and me swears by their clippers. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I think we hit the super chat last time. Now we need sponsors, right?
Oh, I thought there was another super chat. I was like, oh man, gotta get on that one.
Tom wants to mention that he's done flame or fire before. He twisted green stuff around a wire so you could see the twists into a
Yeah.
cone shape. Folded at the green stuff at the top side toward the end of the cone to make flame. Cool.
Cool.
Nice technique.
I'm gonna try to do like flame like coming off this guy's arm. We'll see how it goes. I've never done it before.
Okay.
How's it going with you, Simon?
I was just looking for the next thing I wanted to do, and well, fire was something we wanted to do, and I think fire is pretty similar to free floating hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really tough because floating hair is really hard to do.
We didn't say
because-
free floating hair. We said flowing hair. So flowing hair can be in the air, but it can also be like flowing over their shoulder and like down their back.
Okay,
Yeah. So don't feel like it
okay.
has to like float in the air.
good.
Although I think that was Dwarfinage's suggestion. So Dwarfinage is here, so maybe Dwarfinage can correct us.
Yeah, maybe he's responding to us to it. Yeah. So hair. Let's give this zombie some hair, right? Hair is
Orphanage. Sorry, go ahead.
what's big hair?
So that's what I like.
Long hair? I don't know.
Big hair. That's what he likes. Okay, but like an afro or
Answer the damn question.
yeah. I'm still mixing the putties, so he has a second to think about it. But
He's also wondering if the small drill bits work well. He said, I've had small drill bits that don't really work a lot of the times, like the 0.05 bits or whatnot.
These drill bits are made for plastic. Godhand is like a Gunpla manufacturer, so they do not work on pewter. Do not use them on pewter. That's what I'll say.
All right, good tip.
which
It
elf?
says, yes, witch elves.
But it doesn't have to be freestanding. Oh, Jesus, I just have to look that up. Which
They're the 80 hell, the ones with the 80s hair. That like goes up over their head in a big bob, and then comes down their back.
are you kidding? No.
Go by the model.
Yes, exactly.
But their hair is pretty straight, I feel like, isn't it?
So when I just looked up the witch elf, so if you mean the new ones, which are pretty awesome, I would probably go and try to make individual strands of hair,
Really?
get them into shape, and then add lines to that. So I don't feel like my zombie here is in need of some 80s hair, but I will try to demonstrate what I'm meaning with individual strands.
Yeah.
So you basically, I'm just wettening my surface here a bit, so I can more easily roll some individual strains. So I just roll and roll and roll.
You see
Make
me
them
rolling?
roll. Yeah, see me rolling. There you go.
Oh, fuck.
And yeah, now I just pick up the strand by cutting it with my hobby tool and just squeezing it onto the surface. I want the hair to be by yeah, where I have cut off the sausage. The green stuff is really sticky, and I can easily squeeze it onto the head, which gives me a good start to have like individual hair
Strands?
strands, yes. And then I just gently follow down the line of uh, of the strand, but that's not, you know.
Oh shit!
Yes, indeed.
I've gone and done it. Oh well, I'll fix that in post.
Orphanage is wondering if you've seen his necromancer woman, and one of those big man manes would still be cool, and the techniques applicable on women's hair.
Have I seen his what?
Necromancer.
Necromancer woman.
Necromancer woman. No, I have not, but let me look it up. Nick, you need to talk.
Sorry, I'm actually at a very boring part of this where I go for it, Nora.
Nick, I was actually going to ask you we're just going to do a little quick background check. If you could just quickly check the chat for a moment.
Yeah.
Under Discord.
Under Discord, okay.
Thank you. Dorfinage asks, Nora, how is Ripley? Ripley is really great. Thank you all for sending him so much internet love. I think I actually recognize some of you on his Instagram posting and commenting. It's really lovely to see, and thank you for following his progress. He's now doing intermediate doggy school, so he's learning how to heal and just, I guess, be better behaved. Still super cuddly and loving, and we're taking him more so to dog parks now so he can learn to play in the pack. And I think he's still trying to find his footing, but so far his confidence is growing. And he says hi to all of you. He's currently crated, so taking a nap.
Actually, oh crap, I just realized, is it time to get him up?
Is it? Depends on when we put him down in his crate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is awesome. Thanks, Darthanich, and is super fun as well. Oh, and the other thing I'll add is that he's really enjoying playing around in the water. I think I did post a video to his Instagram of him playing in the lake and jumping into the water and retrieving. So that's really great. We would love for him to be a very strong swimmer when he's an adult.
Yeah. I responded to you on Discord.
Oh, great. Yes.
I have. Yeah.
I was going to say it is probably around time to get him and give him his very delayed lunch because we got him a bit late today because we went to bed late last night. So
it's party time.
It is party time, so I do need to feed him.
Is there anyone else who could like jump into hosting? I don't know. Anyone in the chat who's available on Discord to possibly participate? I know Dwarfenage has done it before. I don't know if Dwarfenage is available to do Discord.
Yeah, if anyone is down to help cover, I do apologize. I just need to get the doggy. Dwarfenage says I can.
Oh, okay. Would it be convenient for you though? You don't have to, man. I mean, other people
Flynn
might.
also says hello.
Flynn, I feel like you're always doing it. I feel like we should give someone else a chance if they want to. Dwarfenage, you just let me know if you want to, or if it would be convenient for you, and then we can see.
Peter around as well?
He just says he needs 2 minutes to turn on his computer.
Oh wait, is Peter around? Peter was here, and I think Peter was eager. He hadn't done any hosting for us in a while, and he's helped out in the past. So if Peter's here, Peter, let us know if you'd be willing to take on the mantle.
Peter says I could help.
Okay. So, okay, if Peter's down, let's get Peter.
Dwarfenage is turning on his computer now.
Oh, shit. Well, now we've got 2 people willing to help out. So, I'm going to go with Peter, because Peter actually asked me the other day if he could help out. And then we will do another time when we can get Dwarfenage to help out. Dwarfenage, I'm actually thinking about doing some streams at like the old time, like at the 8 p.m. time, because I feel like we catch a different crowd. So I might see if you're, I know your schedule is variable, but maybe we could do that sometime. Oh, we need to, how do I create a new thing? Because I don't want to add, because this is our like personal one. Hold on. Go direct messages. I'll create a group, hopefully.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Peter. Maybe what I can do is I can linger a bit until you jump on.
Yeah.
Sure. We do have to like start a different, we basically have to switch
Okay.
this one off and go to a different one.
Well, once Peter gets onto Discord.
Okay, well,
perhaps.
I'm creating the group DM and I will add Peter and Hydra or Simon. Okay, I see that Peter's here. Simon, are you able to access your Discord? I know you're in the middle of sculpting, but
Yes, I am.
okay, so I created a new one and I added you and I added Peter, so you should see it there.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
Thank
then
you
I
so
will
much,
exit
Nora.
now. Yeah, it was very fun. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for the whole stream.
We'll do this
But
again
thank
sometime when you and I haven't gotten like, you know, wasted the night before.
Yes, that too. But thank you everyone for your support of Ripley, and I look forward to seeing more of your comments on his Instagram. I'm doing a shameless plug on for his Insta. It's Ripley underscore the Springer. And
This is our very cute
enjoy.
dog.
Yes. And enjoy the rest of the stream. I look forward to hearing about all the other interesting things you sculpt.
All right. Thanks so much, Nora. So I will...
All right.
Oh, I think Simon's already ditched this call. Well, great.
He did. Okay. All right. Bye,
okay.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you. All right. It's on my stream now. Okay. I'm going to kill this. End. Where is the one I just created? They are already in the call. Okay.
Oh. He's coming.
Sorry, guys. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go. I just have to pop this out, and I need to, oh, I wonder if it's already capturing your audio. Say something?
Blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, they're already capturing your audio, even though they can't see your video. One sec.
Well, I've got no video on anyway, so...
Sorry, what's that, Peter?
I said I've not got any video on anyway, obviously.
Perfect,
so,
yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't enjoy it. Where the heck? Discord. Oh, I didn't give this a name. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap. And now it's going to do the great thing where it doesn't. Oh, no, wait. What have I done? Okay, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go. That is that? Nope, that is not what I want. Sorry, what was that?
I just said, according to Flynn, audio is coming through.
Yes, so the audio is definitely coming through. I'm trying to get the video through. Fuck. It's not working. So I popped our chat out, but I'm not... It's doing... It does this... Discord does a fun thing where it doesn't always... My streaming software doesn't always detect it.
Yeah, yes.
So... Because I can like pull up our chat itself, which is not great.
Mm.
In fact, where even is that? Everything was going so well. Oh shit! I've gone in. Oh wait, hold on a sec. I'm breaking
Surprise,
things.
bitches! I was the fifth member all along.
Ho ho ho! Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry.
One sec.
Yeah,
okay. Well,
this is annoying. Because I can't
I'm
even.
Sorry, I was just so trigger happy that I just clicked.
No,
on...
we had to do this anyway. Okay, I'm gonna do the budget solution because apparently this is not a thing. that we can do today. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I can still make your video legible in this. We shall see, because it is really extremely small.
Okay,
Peter,
you're
are
pulling.
you booping a lot? Like I hear some Discord
Oh, yes,
boops.
I am. Sorry, let me turn my let me turn my thing on to do not disturb, so it's not boom.
Okay. One moment.
There we go.
I did this before. I can do this again. I believe in myself.
Yeah.
We believe in you.
Don't speak so soon.
I believe in magic. Na, 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 na.
I am trying to constrain the thing. Okay, this is very slow. Simon, say some stuff.
Yes. Stuff.
What
Stuff,
advice would you give
stuff.
people about sculpting?
Yeah, I looked up Dwarfenage, Necromancer Witch lady,
Yeah.
and I think you did already an amazing job with the hair and doing those individual strands. The only suggestion I would make to come closer to the GW hair design would be keeping the sculpting tool off the individual strains. So like there's some, it looks like you have some cutting lines or touching lines, maybe where you try to move the hair around to get into the folding and the layer. So I would advise to like I'm doing here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Just pushing the hair always from the side and never poking the sausage in the middle. And that way you can avoid the those poking lines that afterwards mess up everything.
Yeah, so the individual strands, so to speak, quite sort of like flattened and planar almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that with people doing hair before. I've also seen something like that with people doing fire, where it's like they do a lot of like, they take like a blade tool like this, and they do a lot of like cuts beside each other to make like individual lines. And I think that's a bit too much. Like I think you can have kind of like block fluid shapes that kind of suggest the flow of it, and then cut into some areas to better define it. But you don't want to have like individual line, like Hydra was doing the muscles, and when he was doing the muscles it was like individual lines going all the way up it. You don't necessarily want that with fire or with hair, because though hair is composed of individual strands, rarely do we really think or look at the individual strands. So it doesn't look that natural.
Yeah.
Aside from like greasy hair, I think
Yes.
this individual strand solution like works for my zombie here right now pretty well.
Yeah.
And you can, what I'm just doing right now is I use the tip of my tool to split open the end of the sausage, and therefore give the hair like very almost individual hair.
Yeah. I feel like there is something of a kind of like a halfway house between like the Games Workshop very flat, so like very kind of like suggestive of hairstyle that they're sculpting nowadays, and the every single strand is an individual sculpted piece approach. I've got to be honest, some of the best hair I've seen in the Games Workshop kit has actually been on the Dark Elder Witches, which
Oh.
I bought. I literally bought that kit just for conversion parts because it's got some really cool bits in it, specifically for the Empress Children, which I should probably post on Instagram at some
But
point.
isn't a lot of their hair just like up in ponytails and stuff like that?
Yes, a lot of it is, but it's a lot better in my opinion. It's better rendered. And
Yeah.
also, they do have like a big long ponytail, like top knot piece for the. I can't remember what the name is. The
Cyberite or whatever. Or no, that's not what she's called. Sorry.
Hecatrix or whatever it is.
Hecatrix, yeah.
Yeah, and that is much nicer sculpted in my opinion than a lot of the modern Games Workshop hair sculpts. That said, I think that was from the era when they were still doing hand sculpting, and it was done by Jess Goodwin. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He may have been a naughty chicken and given us a preview of those Dark Eldar very early.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was a resin copy, and I remember saying this is not possible to be cast in plastic.
You saw resin copy? I remember seeing a picture somewhere, but
No, you saw the resin as well. He brought
Okay.
that with him. He had it in his glassing in his box. He was keeping his glasses in.
oh damn, I didn't remember that part.
I've been told by Flynn I'm apparently quite quiet, so I'm going to try and...
Yeah, it feels like it sounds like you're a little bit far from your mic, maybe. So what I'm doing here is that I'm doing like a flaming fist thing for this. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
I want to do fire, but I want it to like because this guy's shooting lightning out of one hand. I want it to look like his like fist is on fire in his other hand. So what I did is I had this armature that I was kind of messing around with already. So hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can fix my camera. I embedded the armature in his forearm using again my handy dandy pin vise because I love drilling things. And hold on a sec. Yeah, so I embedded the wire armature in, or the base of the armature in his forearm, and now I'm just trying to build up the bulk around it with green stuff into this kind of flowing shape that comes like from his fist back behind his elbow sort of, and loosely follows where I've got that wire. I'm getting like stupid lines from my overhead fluorescence and they're really pissing me off, so I'm trying to fudge this so that doesn't happen. Sorry. Let's see. Fucking hell. So yeah, I'm just kind of like as I said before, I really like working with armatures, so I built the rough armature for like the direction that I want the flame to go, and now I'm kind of filling in around it with the green stuff. I'm still using pure green stuff. I didn't have to. I could have gone and mixed it with epoxy sculpt, but since I had it on my work desk, with this one, because it's a big armature and because there's going to be a lot of green stuff on it, I'm not as worried about it sticking out from the model and needing to be flexible. I think this is going to be a pretty solid piece. Physically solid, that is. And yeah, so I'm just using green stuff to kind of to bulk it up. And then once I've got like a shape that is roughly thicker at the bottom around the arm and near the hand, and then thinner at the tip, then I'm gonna like get the like given the flame definition to it.
Oh, we have a question from not Modern Synth. Sorry,
That's me.
Flynn. Yeah, we have a question from Flynn. Is it a firebender from Avatar? He says.
It is not a firebender from Avatar. I'm not an Avatar dude.
Fair enough.
My brother's an Avatar dude. I'm not. I mean, it's fine. I appreciate Avatar, but I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
He's got lightning. Do firebenders use lightning?
I think they do in the sequel series, which I've heard wasn't very good, but
Oh, I heard that one was actually really good. The Korra one?
Yeah, see, I've heard mixed things. Some people say it's really, really good, and some people say it's kind of not so good, and it kind of like hard to. I mean, obviously, this is a hobby stream, not a TV stream, so.
Yeah.
But and maybe forget about that anyway. But yeah, looking good on the fire so far. And one tip I was going to say with the lightning actually that I remember is because that's looking really good as well. Is if you were doing a display only piece, so one that's not going to be potentially handled a lot.
Yeah.
One thing you can always do is use very thin brass wire.
Oh yeah, I got some of that here.
Yeah,
this is copper, I guess.
Yeah, because I got some very thin wire from an old wine bottle. That I don't know if you know the thing I mean, where they form like almost like a fishnet over the bottle, and it's already quite crinkled when you get it off the bottle. And it's very easy to sort of like shape and twist it into sort of like lightning-y shapes. And because it's so fine but also quite strong, well, I say strong, it won't support much weight.
It'll hold its shape, but it won't support weight.
Yeah. but it won't break really easily either.
Yeah.
Because it's quite flexy. But yeah, I was originally going to use that for conversion, but unfortunately the conversion ended up falling apart, so I kind of that ended up going nowhere.
Yeah, another
Well,
tip that people have used is they'll use the aluminum foil from corks, because it's pretty sturdy, but it won't hold weight. What are you saying, Simon?
Another thing I would add to the fire discussion is something I would call using the hard green stuff. So as you can see, I have mixed my green stuff into some old epoxy. So the epoxy is already starting to get hard, to get solid, and I remixed it with green stuff. So the whole thing is already curing.
Yeah.
And this gives me the ability to make it easier standing in midair.
Oh, because it's getting harder?
Because it's already getting harder, yes.
Yeah.
And therefore I can
you kind of
like
Oh, sorry, my fault. You were a little off the screen, but I think that's because of where I positioned you. That's better.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it was my fault.
So that, for
so
example,
are you doing fire now? You're not going to do hair? Or you...
Yeah, I'm done doing hair.
Oh, I'm so slow. Sorry.
So yeah, I think fire can be really tough, but you have to always just make those shapes, those very flat S shapes, to stick with it. And I think fire is very important to be painted right. So if you just if you look at those torches, how they really burn, a lot of people just paint the tip orange and the yellow part, the bottom part yellow, and pretend that it's fire, but fire doesn't look that way. And I think when you're painting that, pay attention to where the color in the flame is what.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, one thing that really annoyed me, even when I was younger, going through a lot of old white dwarfs, was when I saw cases where they had really nicely painted models, but they painted the fire the wrong way round, so it was red at the bottom, yellow towards the tips.
That's not the way.
It's like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, I probably would have done that when I was a kid. I didn't know how to paint fire when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh dear. I seem to recall, I can't remember which it was. I mean, to be fair, I think some of these models were actually quite old models that were just being showcased in later White Dwarfs. Because I seem to recall the Penitent engine, the metal one,
Yeah.
they painted the flames on that round, or at least one of the ones they did.
They definitely had loads of fire going on.
Yeah. I've got to be honest. I'm a bit biased because I have one of the metal Penitent engines, which I've somehow managed, I've said many times before, I somehow managed to assemble without pinning. I actually prefer the design of the metal Penitent engine over the plastic one.
It's a pretty cool design.
It is. I don't know if the plastic one, it's a bit too... It looks like it's moving a bit too quickly for my liking. It looks a bit weightless. Okay. Whereas the metal one, I feel like, looks a bit more sort of like... a bit more grounded, a bit more, and obviously it is more hefty because it's made of metal, but I suppose one of the advantages of it being metal is because obviously it does limit how crazy and flailing you can make the pose.
Well, Space Marines are metal as well, and they are great dancers, aren't they?
Oh dear. Yeah.
You've seen that picture, right? The Space Marine dance lesson thing?
Oh, no? I think I know the one. Was that from like Rogue Trader or something?
It's very old. It's dance steps for Space Marines or something. It was like one of the artists did like as a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when like morons are getting really mad about how serious Space Marines are and how they could never be female and how they're not for fun and it's not a joke, people always roll out this amazing... It's like the picture is of one Space Marine dipping another Space Marine with a rose in his mouth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
And they're like at a disco or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly the
That's
one you
cool.
mean. Brilliant.
But Simon, you actually made an observation when you were talking about fire that I hadn't actually thought about, and it is helping me right now as I sculpt this fire for the first time. You said that the fire is like in S shapes. That's a
Yes.
really good observation. That it doesn't just go like straight up, but it kind of like wends its way. So you gotta preserve those S shapes if you want to make it look actually flamey. So the other thing I was going to note about fire is that fire is usually like a teardrop, where it's thicker at the bottom and then thinner at the top. So
Yeah.
that's another thing to keep in mind.
Hmm.
And you would have like those shapes starting in the middle of the line of something else.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's hard to explain it. Never mind. I think that's not. I'm very helpful. I'm not in the shape of explaining my train of thought here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Like you mean like
Uh,
around a stick or a branch or like whatever's on fire or no?
No. I'm not sure if you can see that.
Over to the left more.
Left.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It was in focus a bit. Pull it back and push it back in because it was focusing, but your camera's not loving it.
Give me a sec. Out of focus off. There you go. Is it working now?
Yes, yeah, beautiful. Can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, looking really good.
So you have like this little shapes in here, like starting off in the middle of like this shape here flows upwards,
Yeah.
and then you have like this shape starting in here and
So
going
it's
in
not
the opposite direction.
one snake that winds all its way up. It's like one snake peters out and another one starts kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So because I've done that on this side, so it starts here and goes up all the way up here, and that looks weird. So I think I should just go in here and make like a little dent, and suddenly it looks more realistic.
Hmm. What's the base kit that you're using there, by the way, Hydra? Nice looking miniature.
That's Fireforged miniatures. They have two different sets I'm always trying to buy whenever I order something. That's one set is called the Folk Rebel,
Yeah.
which are basically peasants
Yeah.
Yeah.
with all sorts of awesome peasant things like
Shovels? Your favorite?
shovels and torches and
Pitchfork.
pitchforks. Yes, pitchforks. And like an awesome bit is this one here, where she's holding this basket,
Oh, nice.
an empty basket. You can fill it with almost everything. This is super cool.
Perfect. Oh, that's great.
And the both sets come with loads of empty, open left and right arms,
Oh, you've talked about
which
this
is
before.
amazing. Yeah, and since the kits fit so well, you can mix and match them together.
Yeah.
And the arms are, I would say, decently designed in regarding their proportions. So they fit really well into other lines. So I made the recent tiny things I created that still have no name. So they are having their arms from this kit as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just comment from Dwarfenage. Can we take a moment of remembrance of the Empire Archer models in the armors of the Angel players as grayscale pictures of the archers flash across the screen?
Your favorite, Simon? The Archer models.
The what? Oh,
Empire Archers?
Yes.
Oh, speaking of in the arms of an angel and rest in peace, poor old models. I noticed the Forge World Meiotic spores are actually gone from the web store now.
Oh, they've been gone for a while, I think.
Oh, have they? I thought they were still.
I
thought
bought
they were
mine
fairly
years
recent.
ago.
Oh no, because I could have sworn I saw them. I actually nearly picked some up a few months ago, but
Uh-oh.
no, they're gone. Which is a shame because even though they're apparently pretty useless on the tabletop, and honestly, like giant spore mines aren't perhaps the most exciting concept. I've
They
seen some
are
really.
amazing.
I have to say that out of all the Forge World Tyranid sculpts, they're some of my favourites, and I've
Yeah.
seen some really cool concepts, like some conversions people have done with them.
Yeah.
I seem to recall the guys at Ex Profundis did these really weird, like fleshy servitors that wore masks
Oh, nice.
that were based on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, our good friends over at, friend over at Hydrocast does meiotic spores as well, so that's something.
I don't remember seeing his meiotic spores.
Right, I'll have to link them to you at some point. They're pretty. They look pretty good actually. In fact, they look very. Yeah. Oh, Dwarfinish says a lot of models aren't on the Games Workshop site right now, so there is a possibility that they might be back.
Ah, they might not be gone forever.
They might not be gone forever, in which case, hooray!
So I haven't worked with pure green stuff in a while. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's so hard.
Yes.
I'm
Why
wishing
would
there
you
was some
do that?
epoxy sculpt in here because I'm an idiot. Because I had some mixed up, so I just mixed up some more. Damn it. Okay, so one thing I'm encountering here is that I've got this armature inside, but it's a really thick armature. So I want to put a tip on here, but this tip is all green stuff, so whenever I touch it, it just kind of goes like this, or it goes like that, or it goes like that. So it's annoying. I might leave it and then come back and like refine that tip later
Yes.
when it's hard, because it's just
I was about to
pain in the
say
ass.
you could always use the bits of box technique and just file and carve away at it once it's hard.
Yeah, I don't love that. Green stuff itself doesn't file very well. Box tends to use a lot of milliput in his, so that might be why it works for him so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, epoxy sculpt is great for carving and filing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
green stuff itself is so rubberized that it doesn't really. It's not amazing at that.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking with something like fire, where obviously it doesn't have a hard form, it wouldn't be so bad because obviously you don't need to get like, oh, I need to get the geometry absolutely perfect. But
Okay.
sorry, responding to something Flinhammer posted. Apparently they are available to buy right now, so that's nice. But yeah, I was thinking it wouldn't matter if it was a little bit rough because it's fire. But I do absolutely hear you that yeah, it's not the nicest thing to try and smooth and sand down.
Yeah, that works really well with like armor.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
if it's
yeah,
more
someone asked
rectilinear.
for armor, right?
Oh, Sci-Fi Armor, yeah, if you're feeling it. Like a couple of plates.
I'm not feeling it, but
You'll do it.
I recently I'm just thinking about, well, this dude definitely needs like a shoulder guard. Um and I think sci-fi armor is really important to be studied and have a decent idea of what you're doing. And I, for example, I try to replicate by sculpting this chest piece of this short trooper,
Yeah.
and it has like so certain angles and so certain proportions that it's really hard to mimic. It looks so easy, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then I said, well, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm trying to copy this armor piece. And yeah, I failed with that as well. And in the end, I ripped off everything I've sculpted and said,
shit.
well, you're leaving without chest armor.
Oh, dear.
So if this dude would need a shoulder guard, I would start with a blob, not a sausage this time, but a blob.
Yeah.
And that is important because you want to have sharp edges at the end. So flatten out that in all directions evenly, because if you push it too hard to one side, it will look awkward. And then can you see that? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you flatten it out, I use the spoon side to flatten it. And again, if your green stuff or your mix here is already hard a bit, that helps as well. If it's super soft and super sticky, it spreads out nicely, but it doesn't keep its sharp edges. So after you have the rough shape, you can start patting the outer rim of things. So since you have a sausage, since you have a flattened out ball, the lines outside will be curvy. But since it's metal, it should have sharp edges, and therefore I just tap the armor part from the side to, well, if you would exaggerate it, you have like in half circle, and by tapping the side of the half circle, you squeeze it upwards and make it more rectangular, and therefore it loosens its curviness. But if you tap it too hard, it comes up with a lip.
Yeah.
That can be cool, but you might need to smooth that back into the main thing. So as for sci-fi, you could say, well, that's it. But since this is not a sci-fi armor, I'm going to use my former tube for plastic glue and make small holes in there.
You're a little low, Simon. Can you move it up a little? Yeah, there we go.
Oh, speaking of these various projects of yours, Simon, I've had an idea for a name for the little lamp-carrying goblin things.
Yes.
It's not the most amazing name I've ever heard, but lamplings.
Lamplings.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
That is kind of cute. Yes, lamplings. That's cool. I need to write down that because I might forget it. Tomorrow my plan is to get down the pictures because they are done now.
Yeah.
And I have the fluff for them figured out, and I told them a friend of mine today, and he looked at me a bit like like I know you're crazy, but what? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to post them.
So I've come to a conclusion.
Yes.
Fuck
Don't
fire.
do flames.
Don't sculpt fire. Just buy fire. It's like faces. It's like hands. Just fucking buy it. Because goddamn. I think it's because I'm doing it with green stuff. Like it's a lot tougher. I don't have the like smooth flow of epoxy sculpt, but it's basically like you have to like have these like sinuous shapes flow in 360 degrees all around the thing, and it's really challenging.
Yeah. I think it's way easier to for example, buy from Fireforge. We are not getting sponsored or anything.
Nope.
But you have like quite a few of those torches in the set, and I would just cut off the tip with a flowing with a flowing part, and glue it to whatever I want to have burning, and then sculpt the piece in between.
The connector. That's the thing. Like so much.
The connect.
If you're having trouble sculpting, okay, so I don't know. I have videos about how to sculpt, and I worry that people think that I would advocate sculpting everything yourself. I hate that. I would never do that. Don't do that. The easiest way to get started sculpting is to build an existing model and then sculpt connectors between the different parts of the model. And then do things like Hydra was just mentioning, buy a flame, put it on the model, and then sculpt the base kind of thing. Way easier than sculpting stuff entirely from scratch, and because you're going to tear your hair out, and I don't think it's going to be worth it. Like, I don't care. I don't need to say that I sculpted a whole model when I could get it done quicker by converting a model and then sculpting some bits in between. especially if it preserves your sanity.
Yeah.
Because this is insane.
I think some people enjoy doing that.
Yeah, like
for
Kajan's
those-
nuts. Kajan like wants to sculpt like whole things all by himself.
Sorry
I
to
think
cut,
that's admirable, but that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, sorry to cut in, by the way, but Flynnhammer is asking, did you guys do feathers earlier?
No, we said we weren't going to do
Feathers?
feathers.
No.
On our
Okay.
stream, Simon said that he saw someone sculpting feathers and it took him like all weekend or something, and
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Oh,
that was on
blimey.
Friday's stream, I think.
Yeah. Oof.
I wouldn't see. So if you want to have individual feathers, for example, you have I don't know, a fancy inquisitor with a hat, with a fancy hat that has feathers on there. I would advise to sculpt a feather onto a surface on where you can sculpt the feather onto, and then sculpt one side, let it cure, and then when it's cured, turn it around and sculpt on the back of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So well, just for the sake of it, let's make someone happy with having a feather.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Dwarfinish
we've got
didn't
another-
technically ask for it. It's just,
we've got
or
another
Flynnhammer
question.
wasn't technically. Who was it? Someone wasn't technically asking for it. They were just asking if we had done it. So
It was Flynn. We've got another question from someone called Sam Cressy,
okay.
who I don't recognise. So welcome to
Welcome,
the stream,
Sam.
Yeah. How would you recommend sculpting scales?
Oh, I've kind of done that before. I have a video on my channel for sculpting armor plates for Tyranids and Dark Eldar. It's not, they're big for scales, but you could use a lot of those strategies to get at scales. I also, on our last Great German Sculpt Off, I did fur. It's saved on my channel, and that would be a start for scales, because I think when I started doing the fur, I started with scales. It's just like alternating rows of diamonds. You start at the bottom. Wait, you start at the bottom and work your way up. Yeah, you start at the bottom, and then you do the next row, and then you do the next row. Yeah, so that's how I would approach scales. But again, scales is a lot of work. So if you're sculpting them to connect two pieces, I get it. But if you're deciding you're going to sculpt a whole dragon, that's a lot of work.
It certainly is.
And you could like look into like finding like a texture stamp or something to help you.
Yeah, and also it depends on the type of scales you're sculpting, because obviously you get like lizard scales, you get fish scales, you get snake scales, and they're all quite different from each other. So
What I did was, let me just finish this feather. And then I show you my scale tool.
Oh, I like tools.
Yeah, so what I did was, oh, there it is. I took the tip of one of those felted pens, that's what you call them, right?
Yep.
They look, do I have one still intact here? Nope. What I did, I pushed this, I pulled this out of the pen and pushed this onto this stick, because it's, to me, more easy to handle. And then I used a file and filed away half of the circle. So now I have a half circle up here. So
nice.
whenever,
That's genius.
so thank you. So I would flatten out an area, and then just stamp little half circles just right next to each other onto this area. And just make sure that wherever the half circle is, so between each scale, I just suck at sculpting and explaining at the same time at the moment.
Multitasking is not easy.
So, as you can see, just line after line, and that lines up really well. There you go. You could even go so far as to push slightly from the side the scale into the putty, and therefore it gets a little raised lip.
Yeah.
That would even add more texture to it, but it's also even harder to get the scales in line.
Yeah. Also, another comment from Sam Cressy. They say, I thought that one might work similarly. I'll have to experiment. Thanks for your videos, by the way. They've been my jumping in point to be sculpting miniatures, and I find your Tyranid bashes to be inspirational.
Sweet, thank you so much. I'm glad you find that inspiring, because I'm seriously not inspired by this fucking fire, and I'm about to stop because it's pissing me off so much.
Leave it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think that part of the reason I hate it so much is because it's pure green stuff. Don't use pure green stuff. It's terrible. Mix it with something else to make it softer. Because goddamn.
Oh, that's why Games Workshop stopped selling it, right?
Yeah, it's trash. I mean, it makes other things better, but on its own, it's just garbage.
Yeah. It's trash. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yes. So Crowtoberfest is coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have no idea what, if anything, I'm going to do for it, because I've got so many models that I've got stashed away that I don't think if I bought anything to do anything Croot related, I will actually have room to live.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe I should do get my pencils back out and start doing some Croot related sketches instead for
Oh,
it.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I
Because
know
I
that.
had a few ideas for something a bit different for a Croot related thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously we all see the various like Croot bioforms and beasties and all that. But one thing that you don't often see, and we know that they have it because I remember in Battlefleet Gothic they have their war sphere as one of the
Yes.
spaceships. But is Croot technology like Croot vehicles and things?
Yeah.
And I know they generally speaking rely on things like pack beasts and obviously the wonderful Narlocs. But I'd be interested to have a go at kind of like designing a theoretical Croot vehicle of some description.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like sort of like I don't know if they'd have some kind of like rudimentary.
Are you familiar with much Croot fluff?
I know a little bit about Croot fluff. I know
Okay.
obviously the usual, so obviously they can ingest
yeah. So when it comes to technology, like I was more aware of Croot individual fluff and not very much aware of their technology. And then when I got more involved with the Croot community and talked a lot with what's his name, Ironbeak and all that that Croot guy. Apparently, people don't really understand Croot technology, and there was a part in, I think it was shit so much. There was a part in Blackstone Fortress or something where, was it Blackstone Fortress, or it might have been some kind of like, it was some story that came out around the time of the Liber Xenologist book, and there was this crazy thing where like a Croot was opening a door, and like the lock that they used was like based on like a bunch of insects in like little bags, and they had to like put the right like insects into the right receptacles to unlock the door or something, which is a little weird for me. But the part of Croot fluff around technology that I really like is that apparently the Imperium doesn't understand how they make war spheres.
I see. That's
and
interesting.
there's some story somewhere that talks about how there's this range of mountains on Petch, whatever, and that war spheres emerge fully formed from this range of mountains. So it's some kind of suggestion that there's some kind of automated system inside manufacturing these things, but it's unclear on whether the Croot are in control of it, or it was weird. I haven't read it. This was just imparted to me secondhand. But it's weird. It's different.
Yeah. Also, Dwarfinish, Nick. God, you're Dwarfinish then. Sorry. No, I'm not in the Croot Discord, I'm afraid.
Nor am I.
Yeah, and the Tau also don't understand how war spheres work either. But yeah, one idea I had for like things to take inspiration from for Croot vehicles and technology in general.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever played any of the Halo games, but the brutes, I can't remember what their proper name is, but anyway, the brutes, which are like these big sort of like ape bear creatures, they have technology that kind of looks like what I would imagine Kroot stuff would look like. So it's
Yeah.
like they don't have energy weapons; all their weapons are like projectile based,
Yeah.
usually firing like solid spikes and things. And their vehicles have this interesting sort of like scrappy look to them, not like orc scrappy,
Yeah.
but like in that very like functional brutalist style to them.
Yeah.
And I'm reckoning they could be very good for taking inspiration from.
Cool. Okay, yeah. That could work. There Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Do they have like some kind of hover bikes or something?
They have the two vehicles that spring to mind. They have this thing called the Chopper, which is not a hover bike, but it has like
A
two
wheel at the
wheels.
front?
Yeah, a big wheel at the front that's divided into two to enable it to steer. And they have this thing called the Prowler, which is kind of like a jet ski on land almost. Like it.
So one of these things my brother got a toy of and turned into a Kroot jet bike, and it worked really well.
Ah, cool.
A long time ago.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever posted pictures of it, but I remember it. And I remember it was a Halo toy.
Yeah. Oh, also, Dwarfenage has also informed me what the name is of the brutes, like the proper species name, which I can't pronounce, Jirelhani or something. And apparently, Felix the Crazy made a brute chopper that was cruted up from Bakata and battle axes.
Did that guy ever actually make any Kroot? Because I feel like when I was in a Discord with, I don't know, maybe Dwarfenage knows.
I have no idea. I don't know who he is. Right.
He had huge plans, but I didn't see his finished models yet. I think they've moved their stuff over to the Kroot Discord. We used to have like a team one when we were doing Adepticon, but then Adepticon got canceled. And I'm not supposed to work on this fire anymore. What the hell am I doing? Oh, I hate my life.
That's a good question.
A good question.
Don't sculpt fire. Go and buy it.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And don't rip off heads mid working and use old super glue.
Oh, you lost something?
Don't do that.
So yeah.
Oh dear.
So I'm just using Mr. Ping's
My
famous
what?
trick.
What's that?
For using baking powder.
Oh, it's not my famous trick. I got it from somewhere else, but glad it works for you.
It's, yeah.
Please give me some epoxy sculpts, because this green stuff is a nightmare. I can't believe I worked with this crap. Oh my god.
I can't believe that you are like being the biggest advocate for mixing this whole thing, and now you are so stressed out by
Well, because I was like, oh, I need green stuff because it's going to be like good flexible material to reinforce those lightning bolts. But as soon as I stopped sculpting lightning bolts, I should have gotten rid of it, because I fully believe that fire would have been easier to sculpt if it was with green stuff mixed with epoxy sculpt, because it would have been much softer and it would have flowed more organically, especially with the silicone shapers. I'm actually, you know what, I'm finding that like raw green stuff,
yeah,
you almost have to use metal tools with it. Like, I don't know if my green stuff's old or something, but I've never had a problem when I've mixed it with epoxy sculpt.
No, green stuff on its own is a nightmare to work with. Sometimes I think, oh, I can't be bothered to mix in some green stuff, some epoxy sculpt, and I'm like, oh, why did I do this?
That's what I'm just regretting.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing that, or wait, no, the opposite. It's so sad that epoxy sculpt is so hard to come by if you're not living in Canada.
Yes, or the United States, because it's based in the United States. You can now get it on like Amazon in the UK for a lot of money. There's a guy in Wales who used to sell it. I think he still sells it.
Intriguing.
I don't know if Flynn's still here, but I think Flynn's bought some from the taxidermist in Wales.
Well. I think what I'm bothered about that is that I know how much like what
it costs in Canada.
Yeah, how much it costs in Canada, and how the quantity you can buy it in is like in kilos and not in grams.
Yeah.
And regarding it as I see it as the cheap solution for large areas.
Yes.
So since it doesn't carry that well detail as green stuff does, To me, it's always like enlonging the green stuff,
Mhm.
which is probably a bit unfair to the poor old epoxy sculpt. But
Yeah. Oh, your video has just gone into the
Oh
corner,
shit!
Hydra.
I went to a different thing. Oh, my bad. I'm trying to get the We had a list of suggestions.
yeah, we have fire. We have done magic. We have done hands. We don't do cowboy hats. We have.
Did we do hands? We said we weren't going to do hands, right?
I said we don't do. I don't do hands.
Okay, right. Like I no longer sculpt fire now. Monstrous Lips we did.
I have a suggestion.
Cowboy hat. The next thing I want to do is a turban.
Okay, yeah. We did
have
exposed muscle. Man, Simon, you've been firing through these. We got Sci-Fi Armor, chest plate, shoulder plates. We got exposed muscle tissue. We got saddle. You did the saddle, right?
Yep.
Shit, man. Look at you.
I know.
I'm just
don't
the
know what
also
you're
ran.
doing.
I'm just the guy who does the stuff you don't want to do.
Exactly.
I think I have a suggestion. I think I think I might have suggested it last time, but it might not have ended up on the list by me not promoting it well enough. I don't know. Is doing very thin stuff. So, like for example, wing membranes. So if you already have like the fingers of say the wing, but you want to get the membrane between them.
Not doing that.
Okay, fair enough.
Just let me quickly do the turban.
Yeah.
Let me position my dude properly. So please welcome Mr. Soon to have a turban.
What else do we have that I should do? Okay,
Chain in
someone,
head.
Tom Bits of Box suggested faces. I'm hoping he suggested that because he's also a sculptor and he knows what things are so annoying that you would never want to sculpt them. Because I would never
Yep.
want to sculpt a face. I've tried once. I did it on my like pregnant spider lady, but it's just such a pain in the ass that I would honestly rather go find a face on a Games Workshop model and do it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each time. So this dude is going to be to have a flat turban. I think the biggest task is to find the right amount of green stuff. You place on the hat, on the head.
Yeah.
Because again, by squeezing down like the green stuff, I again get this curved shape, which I could work out into something flat, which would be like a cap.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would just pull down the green stuff further down, I would end up with something that would look like that.
Yes.
But I want to have something that looks like, where's my dude? Whoop. Oh, there. Luckily, I have a dude wearing a turban here, so you can see the wrapping. And the wrapping consists of some dark and deep cut lines where the turban is wrapped, and some flat dents where the material would be like tugged and pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how they always go back, the lines of those folds go back into the underside of the cloth. So because it would be pulled and tucked in that direction, and outwards it's rather flat. So it's basically following the flow of the cloth. So I have my ball that I am currently, as you can see here on the right side, I have like this very rounded shape, and I'm flattening it out on the other side, and therefore pulling it down a bit even more. So you can see that maybe here. So we are getting the shape of almost a square, some rectangular shape there around the head. So what?
Oh, sorry.
What?
I'm just saying I see.
Okay. So now that's rather a square. And I would use now some tool, whatever you like, to round up the shapes again, because I don't want it to be really boxy. So I'm rounding up the edge towards the head and on the top again. So now we have like almost a Russian looking cap here.
You, Shankar.
And when you look at the lines compared to the model we have here, it goes further down, even below the ears, almost. So my ears are so on this model the ears are here. So I need to pull down the whole thing even more, because otherwise he will still look like wearing a funny cap and not a turban. And that would dramatically reduce the seriousness of this dude. Okay, now I'm flattening out again a bit to get some more materials to the side. As you can see here, it has like the rough shape of a V. So I'm trying to get this as well. Rough V shape. Doom, 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 doom. So I'm slowly working out the basic shapes I'm seeing. So the next thing would be adding the circle. You can see on the back of his head onto here. So this is where the material is tucked in. Boom, boom, boom.
I see. Yeah.
There you go. Small circle. I think my circle is a bit small, but who cares? It's for show purposes, right?
Yeah.
And because my green stuff my mix is rather soft and sensitive right now, I'm switching to the silicone tip now, softening out the edges around the circle thing.
When my green stuff gets too sensitive, Simon, I tend to sing it sweet lullabies.
Yes?
Yes, it appreciates that.
Sweet, sweet green stuff. Don't be pushed around too hard. Okay, so now we have the part in the middle. I just have to define the lines that I want to be my tuck lines. So I'm going to start up here and have like one harsh tuck line going down this direction. And when I reach the lower side, I make sure to push upwards a bit to really have the impression that the material is tucked below the following thing. And so this line would be like a circle wrapping. So when I've decided one direction, I need to keep with that line from top right to bottom left. So top right, bottom left would be going top right down, all the way down.
So while you're doing that, I'm trying to sculpt hair. I've never really done this before, but it's having fun. Sorry, what was that?
I said I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I started kind of like Simon's turban and his hats, where you take a blob on the head and you just kind of smear it down the back. There's a hole here that I'm trying to cover on her back. Oh shit, that's not a good view. Hold on. I mess with my camera again. She had a hole in her back that I was trying to cover up with the hair, but I started off by using like a big blob, like rounder silicone shaper to get like the rough shape that I wanted. And that puts like soft folds into the green stuff, the putty. And then from there, what you want to do is, hold on, you want to, this is actually a process like I think what I advocated when we did the robes last time, where you go and you take your silicone shaper and you get like the soft pleats kind of. So I did soft pleats in her hair, and then that gives you like the rough kind of shape that you want it to go. Like I actually might organize it a bit better. But then I come back. So first of all, soft pleats with something like this, which is a big round soft shaper. And then you can refine those pleats with a more tapered silicone shaper, but you definitely want to use a silicone shaper. Do not sculpt hair with a metal tool, because it'll give you such like defined lines that I don't think it'll look natural or organic. And then, yeah, just kind of like flow it around and just kind of like watch the flow that you're coming up with and kind of mimic or maintain the like the shapes that you're imparting. If you want to have like the wind blowing a certain way, that can detect or that can direct which way your hair flows. But yeah, it's actually kind of, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a hell of a lot more than sculpting fire, that's for sure.
Yeah, I still need to get some silicone shapers.
They're really good.
Point. Yeah.
Royal Sovereign is a very good brand. They're expensive. They're not cheap, but they're like the Windsor and Newton of silicone shapers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it me that won the little like giveaway with the guessing the cacodemon that you were sculpting?
What? I had a giveaway?
I could have sworn. Now this is.
Was I giving away internet cookies, or was I giving away actual stuff?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to grift stuff off you, I
No, I don't remember doing
I seem to recall you had the picture of like the thing you were sculpting, the cacodemon, and that you said you were going to give something to the first person that guessed what it was. I think it was me.
Oh shit! Was this on a stream?
It was on a stream. Yeah. I seem to recall you said you were going to give away like a silicone shaper or two to whoever guessed it.
You sure it was you? Because I think I remember setting those out. I don't know.
I'll have to check after the stream. I'll check the Instagram messages and see if
because I did send some I have sent out the awesome German silicone shapers that Hydra finds for me.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of shipments of those that went out a while back.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I could be entirely wrong, but I'll check the Instagram thing anyway. Oh well. But no, I do need to get some silicone shapers because they look really, really useful, and I'm ashamed to admit that Dwarfnage, not Dwarfnage. I'm getting my messages mixed up. Flimhouse says just don't go to Verdant Thing Planet.
Are they very expensive there?
No, as in Green Stuff World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we call it Verdant Things Planet.
Yeah. It's just
okay.
Because obviously, I'm ashamed to admit my sculpting tools I got from there before I knew what a bunch of.
Why would you be ashamed about something you didn't know? You didn't know. I've got AK-48 point or AK whatever the hell paints that I've got here. Before I knew that they were jackasses, and I'm just going to use up the paints.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like burn them or anything. That's fine.
That would be stupid, yes.
Yeah, and possibly dangerous as well, given that
they are plastic.
I think they won't burn too well, right?
No.
Yeah. Oh dear. Also, Tom Wilson, did I hear right that someone suggested wing membranes? The solution for them would be to only sculpt the arms and fingers and then to use tissue paper and glue to make the membrane.
Oh, yeah. Hydra is a king of using tissue paper and glue for stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem with that would be you would have to, well, when something flies, the wind, or the air is like gathered in one of those sacks, and they would evenly spread out. So you would have to make the tissue between each finger like individually, like have it hanging down, let it cure, do the next one, hanging down, let it cure, and the next one hanging down, let it cure. Because otherwise you need to have gravity to give it the shape you
So turn it upside
need
down.
to. Yeah, of course, but you can have just one direction at a time.
Oh, right.
What was I going to
So
say?
yeah, here's my turban.
Ah, that's looking good.
Nice.
Very nice. Actually, speaking of wings, I tell you one thing. I did post it on Instagram, but I'll show it here anyway. I finally came up with a solution to my problem of I want all my Tyranids insect wings, but there's no insect wings readily available in scales with gargoyles. So,
Okay.
so I have some gargoyles that I started painting ages ago and kind of forgot about. And I got them out of storage recently, and I remembered I'd actually painted the gargoyle bodies relatively well, but the wings I'd actually left separately and had just undercoated them and left them at that. I think a few I tested on some different types of green on, but anyway, what I've realised you can do is if you cut each sort of like panel of wing membrane and finger out of the wings,
Yeah.
and then mount them on a little sort of like carapace plate on the back, they actually make quite decent sort of like Tyranidy wasp wings.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, well, I think they do anyway. I like I say, I posted a thing on Instagram. My newest invention, the Vespigant.
Yeah.
Like a termagant, but waspier, I guess. Although saying that, a termagant riding a Vespa would be an amusing conversion.
You know what I would do if you want to have like insect wings?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Bones has them. I'm actually supposed to be doing this commission for someone where I put insect wings on a bone. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. I'll go get them. I think they're gargoyle size.
I would do something I learned from Infinity. Get printable clear sheets you would use for in school. You know those overhead projectors?
There you go,
You know
sir.
those?
Bones,
Oh.
transparent wings, 3, number 77582.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, I rather like those. I'll have to look those up. Those look rather good.
So they come 3 to a pack. They're 3 different designs. They can't be that expensive because it's Reaper. They're cheap.
Oh, I might have to get some of those then. Ooh.
I literally had no idea till this person sent them to me, and I have to remember to do this. I have to attach them to a fairy for them.
Neat. Yeah, I rather like those. I'll have to look those up. Those are exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for.
Sweet.
Yeah,
It's so funny that I mentioned bones before in the stream, and suddenly it shows up like having useful bits.
Yeah. I've got to
Yeah.
be honest, I've never been like the only bones miniatures I own are a pair of the slimes they made,
Which are amazing.
They are amazing. Yeah, I was tempted to get. Well, I wanted to get the gelatinous cube, but they didn't have it at the time, unfortunately. The only problem I have with them is kind of like I feel with a lot of their models. I mean, they're very nice and affordable, which is cool and all. But I know the stuff they're made of is very floppy.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's softer plastic.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I was worried about that. I have for my deep ones, I have like those big fish fruits, if you will. And I was worried that they would, be too wobbly to paint for the paint to stick. But that it turned out that they were just fine.
Yeah,
So
cool.
it really worked well.
Yeah, I'll have to track some of those down then. But yeah, thank you very much for showing me those wings, Mr. Pink, and
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah.
So another request was Tyranid faces,
Yeah.
and I'm no big fan of the. Well, I like Termagons as they are Termagons, but I wouldn't sculpt a Termagon head because obviously Termagons are a thing you can buy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to sculpt something in the direction of that, you would have to. I think with everything you want to sculpt, you have to break down the thing into basic geometric shapes, and then give the thing the rough appearance of the geometric shape, and then you can work into the details in the second step. And a Tyranid face or a Tyranid head would always be, or at least not always, but it has evolved into being this enlonged, like almost drop shape. You would then add a jaw up at the front and have those holes in the back of the head.
Yeah. I always imagined those were the thing's ears for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought they were like spiracles or something. For is that what they're called for breathing?
For breathing. Hadn't occurred to me that might be what they are, but that too.
Because don't like wasps and shit do that?
Yes, insects do breathe through spiracles, I believe.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm.
So what I really like when Flynnhammer tracked down the bust, the
Of
Hormagaunt bust.
Hormagaunt, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the look of those things that they actually had a curved up lip, and that lip had some some cuts in there.
Yeah.
So it's not just a very flat, very smoothed out thing as it would be on a warrior.
Yeah.
But it has some, even there's a little texture, and I really like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So these are, I think, one of the main things that make a Tyranid recognizably a Tyranid.
Yeah.
Like the rough head shape, and then having those holes
Yep.
there, and then you would have like chitin plates on the top of the head, and some sort of mouthpiece. That's that would qualify it in my book to be a Tyranid. Doesn't necessarily have to have eyes. Oh, talking about eyes, that storyboard guy messaged me.
Yeah, he sculpted them.
Yeah, he sculpted. No, he did not.
Yeah, he said he sculpted them. He said he sculpted the eyes on. That the head was from that
Nemesis?
some alien nemesis alien thing, but then the eyes he sculpted them on. He said. I asked him the same question.
Okay.
You got a different answer?
I think he told me that he what was it? He used some pins.
Oh, okay.
The some hardware things like nail something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. But in any case, the kit, the head that he used didn't have the eyes, and he had the eyes on anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed me the source kit that he used when I asked him about the eyes.
Yeah, I really like those warriors. Actually, kind of like death ostriches. I like them.
His version?
Yeah, the storyboard guys, warriors.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Nemesis ones. I haven't really looked into the Nemesis ones enough. Okay, so I think I'm kind of happy with this lady's hair. What I would say about sculpting hair is that it's similar to the fire in that it's like it'll have waves through it that move through like 360 degrees kind of. And then Hydra's suggestion about don't have the same wave traveling all the way. Have like new waves developed throughout it. And then just like don't do sharp lines in it. Like use a silicone shaper to try and get like softer lines. Like you could, like, I guess now I could go in with a knife tool and better define some of these, but you don't want like a lot of really sharp cuts.
No, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Also,
think
it's a
when
miniature,
it comes
remember, so it doesn't have to be like perfect. It just has to be good from like tabletop distance.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why Games Workshop has changed the way they make hair,
Yeah.
because it works easier with the contrast paints.
Oh, interesting.
So if you have like tiny individual strands, you would have to highlight them,
Yeah.
and the way they do it now is they have like something that has, when you look at the hair strands from the side, they are almost that shape. So each individual strand, so
Yeah.
the like they almost have a tip in the middle,
They come to the
which would
point.
easier pick up paint when you dry brush the area.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nice. Oh, not for this stream, obviously, because this is a How to Sculpt stream, not a creature conference. But I've had yet another idea for something you could do, Mr. Pink. So, is my understanding correct that you are currently in possession of bits of boxes dactylis?
Yes.
Dactylis. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I was wondering about is, because it's a really impressive miniature that he's sculpted, I really like it. But the one thing that would be cool to go with it would be a pair of like artillery tractor type organisms, so creatures that would enable it to kind of drag it around. And because obviously it's not going to be,
That would be cute.
yeah, because it's not going to be going very far on its own. But it occurred to me because like it would make sense as well, because if you look at like actual artillery pieces, they generally speaking aren't self-propelled, or at least they weren't for a long time. They
Yeah.
would have other vehicles just like tug them around, and I don't know, like the biological equivalent of that would be kind of neat, I think.
Oh my god, a Tyranid tractor?
Well, yeah, like a
Cool.
Tyranid kind of like artillery tractor, yeah, something that just lugs around these great beasts. Kind of a bit of the Warp Shadow non-combatant.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, you do something a bit like Box's hide might actually.
So I'm not going to do that for this one, but I don't think that should stop you from drawing a non-combatant Tyranid artillery tractor, because I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll certainly give it a go.
Yeah, for this one, I have an idea. Around the bottom of it, he's got like a big sack, and he's kind of got like where the thing's legs are, the legs grow into the sack. So I had the idea of kind of doing a suggestion of like that those legs have like broken into kind of spiderly limbs that spread across the sack, and then at the bottom there's like little hooks on the edge of the sack, and that's what drag it along.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm also going to extend the tail on it, so that there's more like locomotion there.
Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Okay, I think I'm glad that Hydra has done so many, because I think I'm going to have to go, just because I am freaking tired from
Wait. I'm not done with the cowboy head.
Oh god damn it. You're doing the cowboy hat?
Yes, I want my death chicken here to have a Tyranid head and wear a cowboy hat. I just need to get down the face so it won't have much face.
I
So you
literally
have to give
sculpted
me-
only hair, energy effect, and a shitty fire fist that I hate. And you've like destroyed everything, so good work. But the lesson today, kids, is if you're gonna sculpt fire, put epoxy sculpt in your green stuff, because it's gonna go way better. Like this hair was a dream to sculpt, and I honestly believe that's because it's got a lot of epoxy sculpt in it. So it just kind of flows. Like you just kind of like touch it with the silicone shaper, and it just flows for you. So yeah, kids, cut your green stuff. It doesn't have to be epoxy sculpt. You can also cut green stuff with Milliput. I feel like the epoxy sculpt cutting is easier than the Milliput one, but I've recently come around to Milliput, so not as bad anymore.
Oh dear. Flynn Hammer says, Hydra, that looks like a protonid head. Haha, yes. Rubbing in that you have the amazing rare protonid that nobody else does. Thank you so much, Flynn Hammer.
Sorry, did you say something? I heard the word Flynn Hammer and I just kind of blanked out.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Whoa, I also froze my video. How did I manage that? That's weird.
is weird.
What the hell?
Um,
Simons is
actually,
not frozen. What the hell? Okay, hold on.
if it's any consolation,
Oh my god.
I have discovered via the collecting system on Miniatures Wiki a Tyranid, well, two Tyranid sculpts that I Hammer, like he's admitted, will never have. One is a prototype lictor, which a metal lictor, which apparently goes for a lot of money, like ridiculous amounts of money.
Oh, he's got that one. He identified
No,
that.
he's looking for it. He's looking for it.
Yeah, and the other one, which I'm pretty confident he will never have. Sorry, Flynn, to be talking about you like this.
That's kind of an. I don't know that I love this approach. I'm confident you're never gonna have this. That's a bit dick move.
Let's put it. Let's say it's a challenge, and that way he'll prove us all wrong. But there's an Inquisitor scale 54mm pure strain gene stealer, not the one which we all know, but there was another one.
Okay, so Peter, he captured these in his story. He posted a story that said these are the things that I'm never going to get.
Oh, of course.
And it included both of these, and I think it included something else as well.
I think wasn't it that he said that he was looking for those?
He did, yeah, but he also he identified them as super rare Tyranids that are very hard to get.
Well,
okay.
I hope he proves all of us wrong, because it would be very nice to see those kind of in this museum of Tyranids that he's certainly going to open one day with all the amazing rare sculpts he's got.
So I think we've officially broken my webcam.
Oh dear.
What?
It's not working anymore.
Strong today.
So all you got is my ugly face.
Oh,
Glad I washed my hair recently. Here's a little thing I sculpted. Here's another little thing I sculpted in a lesson to never use green stuff or anything. You're working on your Tyranid. Okay, I'm gonna go get some tea. That's what I'm gonna do while you work on your Tyranid cowboy hat.
Okay.
Oh, where's Mr. Pink? I don't think I can put him up here.
Oh, nuts.
I'll be right back. Wait. Oh, can we do this? Let's get dangerous and foolish.
Oh, good. Like that.
Oh, no, that's an ancient meme.
Come on, buddy. You can do it. I believe in you. It's going to fall over if there's a stiff breeze. Oh,
dear.
Look at that. This is the part where it all comes crashing down.
My video's catching up a bit, so... Hang on. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Well, we know he is, because...
Hold on.
He's done it!
There we go.
Right.
You can check out all my cool stickers on here, like the Epoch, because Chrono Trigger is the best game ever. I got a link down here.
Oh, nice.
All right, I'll be right back. You guys continue. And are you still sculpting a Tyranid head?
Yeah.
What about the cowboy hat, man?
Yeah, let me get the. I need to sculpt the teeth, and then the face is done.
Oh my god, you're such an overachiever. Oh, okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
prototype dactylus. I didn't know that was a thing.
What?
Oh, I'm just reading the comments, and
Okay.
Flynn Hammer's mentioning some of the other unreleased stuff. An armor cast Trigon, which I did know about, and Forge World, apparently the prototype dactylus, how you pronounce that, which I did not know even was a thing. So
Yeah.
I know that
I only knew from Nathan's from Flynn Hammer's story that these two were actually in existence.
Yeah, because I knew the Armcast Trigon existed, but was very, very rare. But the Forge World Trigon, not Trigon, sorry, the Forge World Dactylus, I didn't know that. Hang on a minute, are we talking about like the Forge World we all know and love, or because I know there was another company, Forge World, that.
No, armor cast.
Hang on, no, sorry, I'm looking in the comments here because there's Flynn Hammer said about an Armorcast Trigon and a Forge World prototype Dactylus.
Okay. Maybe the prototype Dactylus was from the transition when Armorcast turned into Forge World.
Oh no, Flynn Hammer says the Forge World more before Games Workshop created their Forge World. So yeah, so a bit like Armorcast but different.
Okay.
Yeah, all very confusing. But yeah, no, that would be actually. I think I know that one. I've seen pictures of it, of a painted sample, but I think it might have been a recast that someone got hold of. But yeah, it would be impressive to get hold of if you could.
Yeah.
I know the one now. Yeah, yeah. It's more or less a direct upscale of the epic scale miniature.
Yep. Someone carved from wood. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry, I needed to count in German
That's all right.
because my I'm hungover as well, but apparently not as bad as our host of the evening.
Indeed, indeed. Well, it was his birthday. We've got to give him some leeway, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good looking, from what I can see, a very good looking Tyranid head, by the way.
Thank you. I have to admit that it's I'm enjoying it at the moment really, and it's the first Tyranid head I've ever sculpted.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's coming along really well.
Yeah.
I'm going to post pictures of what I sculpted today on Instagram. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, I tell you what it reminds me of a bit, actually, is it reminds me of the heads from the second edition plastic termagants, which is a very good thing, because I like those.
yeah,
Yeah, I like
okay, it looks goofy, and I think that's what it's supposed to look like.
yeah, well, I wasn't going to say goofy, but I mean more like kind of particular shape of it. So it's like got the quite protruding jaw and all that. Oh no, I like it. I like it a lot.
Thanks. I'm just yeah, I'm
It's a bit hard.
surprised at how well this works. So there's a blank area around the face up there,
Yeah.
but I'm just doing whatever, you know, what I always do. I'm going to add some tentacles.
Ah. So
Classic.
problems. Tentacle
Just
faces.
just some more tentacles. Just 2 on each side, so not a whole nest
But
of them.
two.
Just a few for like how are those fish called that have like
Oh,
those?
catfish with the little barbels.
Yes, something like that. So they would,
Yeah,
you know, taste the air.
that is a very. I've never thought of doing that on a Tyranid. That's a very good idea. I did do on one of the warriors from my kill team. I gave him a pair of like sensory dreadlocks coming down his the side of his head.
Yeah,
But well, you might have seen that actually. But yeah, but that's a very good idea. The little delicate ones on his chin.
yeah, just to busy up the side of his head a bit.
Yes, dwarfenage, exactly like catfish whiskers.
Ah, whiskets. Okay.
Whiskers. I think.
Oh, look,
Yeah, whiskers.
I'm learning English here, and I'm trying to show you how to sculpt.
Don't worry, your English is like immeasurably better than my German. So
Yeah, you know whose fault is that my English is the way it is? Gaunt's Ghost.
I was about to say Dan Abnett because he wrote Gaunt's Ghosts, and yeah,
I read those books in school when I was supposed to learn, I don't know, geography or anything else, and I read the books under the table during class.
it's exactly the best thing to do during a geography lesson.
Yeah, I think so. Or math. That was the worst. Math is the worst.
Oh, maths. Also, Julie Tremblay, your cringe. Who's Julie?
You're cringe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But
Okay.
yeah. If ever there was a time for reading Gaunt's Ghost instead of doing what you were supposed to be doing, it's a maths or geography class.
Okay, I have the tentacles so far, and now let's get on to the cowboy head.
Aha!
Tyranid with a cowboy head. Death Chicken Tyranid cowboy head. One coming up. So my basic idea is to create a flat circle to have the lip. Is it the lip of the hat?
The brim.
The brim. So I'm putting down some Nivea on my workplace here, so it sticks more to my finger, which helps me to flatten out it a bit.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how big that is. So as I've not done this before, I'm just roughly estimating. In worst case, it's getting a laughably large hat.
Dwarfinish has a question, by the way. Is the base model one of those Slanesh demon mounts, or is it one of the Warcry monsters?
Warcry.
Ah. That's sure. Death chicken to you, says Flinhammer.
What?
Flinhammer says that is terrible.
Needs a badge, yes.
He does. He
Oh,
did proxy
Jesus.
Morph on a Gene Stealer Cult army.
Okay, the circle I made was too wide, so I had to redo it. And I think I'm good now. So, oh no, the brim. Okay, as you see, as I scrap off the green stuff from my ground, it curls up already a bit.
Yeah.
Which helps me in this particular case because I can now more easily eyeball where it's supposed to go down.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of aha, hello again, Mr. Pink.
Hello.
I can't believe you made your murder chicken into a Texas cowboy termagant. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was just saying he could proxy it as a Keelamorph or Gene Stealer.
Give him. He needs to have 3 flesh spores though.
That's true. Or 2 Devourers.
Or 2 devourers.
Or 6 Spine Fists. Mind you, 6 limbs, that wouldn't work.
Oh wow! I decided to have some cake and some tea while I watch you sculpt. So I'm now just a member of the audience.
Oh, cool.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, I'm almost done now because the 2 things that need to be done. So I have this curled up brim, which isn't too perfect, but I think it's about the it's just the basic idea or the steps. So a cowboy hat is tucked into place by a strap, right? So
it doesn't have to be, but it could be.
So yeah, this is going to be because I like the idea.
And because murder chickens run real fast.
Yes. Yes.
This has got to be one of my favourite miniatures ever now, this Death Chicken Tyranid sheriff thing. And, oh, hello, Kajan.
Yeah, Kajan's here. Thanks for joining us, Kajan.
Yeah.
Just in time.
And Dwarfinage commented, it's insane that he's doing all this with uncured green stuff at the same time. Hydra is a madman. And I agree. What? Because, like, this green stuff you sculpted for the muscle on the leg is still wet. And the friggin' saddle. And the head. And now the hat. And, like, how you've not shoved your finger into your still curing green stuff is beyond me.
Well, yeah.
He's done a very cool touch, which I was just commenting on earlier, which is he's given it little catfish-style whiskers on its lower chin, which I think is a very interesting thing to put on Tyranids.
Good lord. Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. Indeed. What was I going to say?
Okay, now little steed has the straps around, and then we need the piece in the middle, right?
Top of the hat, yeah.
The hat part, hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just start again.
I think it's
with
called
the
crown. I don't know.
Okay, so let's settle with crown. So as you can see right now, it's just a ball on a flattened ball on you know the brim,
Mm-hmm.
and and that's why I'm working as you could say wet in wet, because I can pull down the green stuff now and gently squeeze it into the still soft brim of the hat,
Yeah.
and therefore make it easier to blend into the brim.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, according to Dwarfnage, at this point, you're just flexing on everyone.
Do you know that
What's
expression,
flexing?
Simon? Flexing? Flexing is
No.
when you tell people you're better than them without being obvious about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like you know what? You know what was a flex? I'll give you a
What?
good example of a flex. When you're on a stream with your good buddy, and he goes, "Oh yeah, let me share my screen with you," and then he winds up sharing a picture of a giant fucking 400-pound, as in dollar figure, protonid. That's a flex. So what I should have said is when he did that, I shouldn't have responded at all, and I should have gone, "Weird flex, but okay."
Oh dear.
Wait, I
Jesus.
got an idea.
Okay. I'm eagerly awaiting the idea.
You missed everything, Kajan. Oh well. No, you haven't missed everything. You're getting to see Hydra making a
So
rather impressive cowboy hat for a Tyranid death chicken thing.
another example of a flex, Hydra, would be if I was like, "Oh man, I got this really itchy back. Oh, I'll just scratch my back here with this bronze demon that I just happen to have just lying around from that model that I made. Oh, this? Oh, you know, whatever. That's a flex.
So, do you want me now to find a reason why I take my 7 demons and scratch me with them?
Yeah, that would be your flex.
Okay.
Just don't do it with a Slayer sword, especially one of the ones when it was actually a real sword, because that could go a bit badly wrong.
Yeah, that's a trophy I have never managed to get hold of.
Mm. What I really the painting tool I really need is a time machine. Go back in time when I'm really good at painting, which will probably be never, to be fair, and go back in time and win a Slayer sword from when they were actual swords, because that
Yes.
would be amazing.
Well, back then you could also actually win one because people hadn't gotten like ridiculous over the top good at painting.
It's true. It's true.
But I don't know.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, hat is done, I
That
guess.
is a very good hat.
Nice.
Nice indeed.
Oh my god, I got some tea and now I feel like a human being again. Okay, so Kajan, what you missed, this will all be recorded, but you missed Hydra sculpting a shitload of things, while I sculpted 3 things. And while we learned that you never want to sculpt anything that needs to be flowy or organic with pure green stuff, because it is a recipe for anger and disaster.
I would argue never sculpt anything with pure green stuff.
Yeah, just like always mix it with milliput or mix it with epoxy sculpt, mix it with something else, because then it's going to be a little softer and more forgiving for you when you try and sculpt things.
It also means the edges won't soften and round off as the cures, because I found lots of things like that where I've sculpted something in green stuff and it's looked really good at the time. Then I've come back to it and thought, I just sworn I made the edges a bit sharp.
Yeah, that's when you want milliput. Milliput is much better at holding sharp edges than green stuff is. Epoxy sculpt's pretty good at it.
Yeah, epoxy sculpt is very good at it, I think.
So sorry to interrupt, but if this Death Chicken Termagant would have a star badge, where would that go? On the
Oh
chest
my god, can you
or
stop?
on the saddle?
I gotta save my dog at some point. I gotta call this. Don't you have work tomorrow, you monster?
I would say
that's the last thing I want to do, so quick answer.
Okay.
I would just say on the chest, to be honest. like the classic 10-star. Although, to be honest, I would be tempted to cheat and just cut out a little piece of plastic art to do it with, rather than trying to sculpt it.
But Hydra's a madman, so...
Non-Queen Nora sounds a lot different from what I imagined her to sound like. Yes, no, I'm afraid a non-Queen, well, not non-Queen, a Hive Tyrant from another Hive fleet came along and, well, to be exact, I believe... Why'd you have to go again? I've already forgotten. I'm sorry.
It was Ripley, our dog.
That was it, yeah, Ripley.
And I'm supposed to take over dog duty soon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
Ripley
I'm
needs
almost
saving.
there. I just need a star in there. So I did not sculpt a star. I sculpted a round badge. And I'm making dents in there that have a star shape.
Nice.
Nice.
So, Kajan, while Hydra was sculpting many of the things requested on this murder chicken and a couple of things on some other models, I sculpted energy effects, sort of, in that I made an armature and I put some putty on it. And I sculpted hair successfully. And I tried to sculpt fire unsuccessfully with pure green stuff. And that was when I learned you always mix your putty.
Okay, it's done.
Good man.
Good man. Well done. One thing that's
Okay,
just
let me see if I can get my
Oh yeah, focus.
focus. And I had some oh there. Black background.
nice.
Ooh, look at you, all professional. Hey, it's a good thing you got here when you did. I've got my camera on, hold on. I almost finished this tres leche cake. It's so good.
You know, speaking of putty, that reminds me of something. I remember back in the days of old, back when I was browsing Warp Shadow's
That looks
gallery.
awesome, Hydra.
Okay.
Really awesome.
So what I did was I did an upside down mouth.
Upside down. That part's hard to see. It's so good. The rest is yours. Sorry, Nora and Ripley just arrived to remind me that I'm on Ripley duty.
Yeah. So saddle and flesh tissue muscle.
Yeah.
So that's what we had tonight, and then we had some turban.
Yeah.
Does it show? I'm not sure.
But yeah, one thing I was going to mention is, speaking of putty, one thing I remember from the Warp Shadow deck is there are some people who swore by a putty that I've heard of but have never seen since, called brown stuff, which is like green stuff.
Yeah.
I think brown stuff is a version of milliput, isn't it?
I think brown stuff is like green stuff. It's just it is harder. So you use it to get edges, where green stuff like gets
Yes.
more round shapes. Brown
Yes.
stuff gets more
Right.
edges.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and my lady with the floaty hair.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'm
So
trying to
remember there's one-
resurrect my camera and I cannot do it.
Oh dear. So I remember there's
Oh,
one
there's a
absolute
fly.
madman that sculpted like an entire Cerebor out of brown stuff. And it was
That's crazy. Like it would be tough to use brown stuff to do organics, I would think.
I can't remember if he used it for everything or if he just used it for carapace, which would make sense to use it for because
Yeah.
it's really hard edges.
And
and ass lips.
yeah, the ass lips. I forgot about the ass lips.
Oh, what is that sentence?
Monster lips. There was a request for monster lips, so Hydra sculpted a butt that can kiss back.
I have to say, for sort of like some kind of like Slaneshi creature thing, I can imagine being really, really well. I don't know where I'm going with this, but that is delightfully disgusting. And quite like it.
Although I'm really fond of this stupid chicken thing.
It's because it's amazing. Wait, did you put a pommel on the front of the saddle? Like a thing you hang on to?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't.
Don't give
I
up,
guess you can't be
please.
good at everything.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I-
failed.
Can I do mine? I sculpted. This is a really shitty camera that isn't going to work very well, even if I put my hand behind it. Energy effects, but earlier in the video you can see them better when my other camera still worked. Like lightning coming out of that guy's hand, and then I tried to sculpt like a flaming fist sort of effect on his other arm, but we learned that we don't sculpt fire with raw green stuff, and then I did a much better job sculpting hair on this lady. And that's literally all I did for all of Hydra's amazing work. Because I was mostly swearing at fire. And then my camera died. So, good excuse. Also, I'm hungover, so there's that too.
Yeah, well, I think. Oh, apparently it's called a saddle horn.
There you go.
But yeah, I gotta say, considering that was done whilst slightly inebriated, I'd say that hair is really good, actually.
Thanks.
And honestly, I've got to be honest, considering what you had working again, I think the fire isn't too bad.
Yeah, me too. I think the rough, the shape, like, and the dynamic really work well, as you can see the fire like swooshing backwards.
Don't tell me that. I really want to not have to finish this model. Because that fire is god-awful. And I'll be like, oh, I can just make a little change. And then I'll remember that it's pure green stuff, and I hate it.
What you could do is you could use some, I don't know if you have those, but you can use some, what's that, pliers?
Yeah.
And just pull like different, pull and twist.
Oh, I'd call those tweezers.
Tweezers, yes.
These are tweezers. And these are pliers.
Okay.
Oh, wait, can you even see my video? I don't know.
Yeah, I need to wait for YouTube to catch up.
You wouldn't want to use pliers on your miniatures. They would not be very...
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm well done.
I think I'm well done too. I think I was well done about the time we started. So thank you so much, Hydra, for volunteering to do this. I feel like, I don't know, I need to find a better way to solicit suggestions from people. Maybe we need to solicit suggestions over a longer time period, because I kind of rushed this one. Like I've only been asking for suggestions since Wednesday. So if you'd be willing, Hydra, I'd love to do this again sometime.
Of course.
Would you be down? Okay, cool. And that time I'll get better organized and ask for suggestions further in advance so that more people can get... Yeah, okay, small pliers, but do you still want to use these to pick up your miniatures? I mean, they're small, but they're not exactly careful.
We're going to turn that around. So if you want to have a sculpt anything, you have to do the super chat.
Oh shit, don't do that. That's what Kajin's afraid of. Oh, what's the name of Hydra's YouTube channel? Modern Synthesis. You only see him here. Actually, we've been talking about Hydra doing some tutorials, right?
Yep.
You did record those.
I did.
I can't remember where we left it. Clearly, we got to chase those up. What did you call them? What was your name for them? Did you come up with one?
Hydra's Heads.
Hydra's Heads. So Hydra will be premiering his own YouTube videos, and he asked me to host them here. So if you still want to do that, we're still happy to do it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so they'll be coming soon.
Excellent.
But you can see Hydra here every Friday on the Creature Conference. And for future great German sculpt-offs, when we give people more time to give their suggestions. Oh, Dwarfenage says, I feel like these videos are really just Dwarfenage wanted to know how to sculpt something. Well, that's the other thing. Like, we ask people for suggestions ahead of schedule, and we, like, compile a list of everyone's suggestions. But if you're here, like, we want your suggestions as well. So,
yeah,
that's a good reason to show up for the live stream, because you get more say in where we go.
That's right.
But honestly, Hydra, I'm glad you're here because you carried the team today, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm just happy that I remembered at some point that I should fix up some models I could sculpt something on.
That was literally me half an hour before the stream. I'm like, oh shit, I need a model to sculpt on. So I think I used the same ones I used last time, or they were ready for the last one. Mm.
Oh boy.
And Peter, thank you for jumping in the middle. For anyone who is here from the beginning, thank you to Nora. I will thank her in person later. But she had to take off, so Peter jumped in. So we really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
I always enjoy
you.
doing this, so thank you.
Great. What the... Kajan is asking us if we sculpted the jaw. I don't remember a suggestion about the jaw. I missed that. Oh shit, was that on the stream? And I didn't write it down. Simon, do you remember a suggestion about sculpting a jaw?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, then we're going to have to do that next time, Kajan.
Exactly.
Apparently, Kajan would have been here earlier, but it sounds like he may have been playing D&D or something. Damn, I really love this guy. Okay. All right. Before I get distracted and I got to go save my dog, thank you all so much. It's very late for both of you gentlemen on a Sunday. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, please like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We do streams every Monday. Fuck.
Right now, we just have three likes, so people hit it.
Hit the like, please. We do streams every Friday. Hydra, myself, Hive Fleet Moloch, and we usually work on our hobby stuff, and we can give sculpting tips there as well. And yeah, stream on Fridays, and then we try to do this periodically, and then every so often I put out a tutorial video, so useful to subscribe. So please, yes, like and subscribe.
Please do.
Okay. And thank you all in the chat for showing up and being so interactive. That was amazing.
It certainly was.
Even if Symbio Joe wasn't here, he got his bloody cowboy hat finally.
Yes. Oh, blind, we've got 16 likes. Is that a new record or
I feel like when we asked people to like the last video, they like bombed it, which was great. We appreciate it. Thanks. I always forget to say that, so I'm glad that we got to it now.
Yeah.
Does it tell me here? Oh, 15 likes. Okay, cool.
There's 16 of mine, but maybe
I guess mine's slow. I don't know.
Maybe hit member again.
Yeah, and I guess we'll try to we'll see about doing this at a time that might be a little easier for people. I know people in Europe probably not great to go like late on a Sunday night, but thank you for coming today, because like I think the majority of the people in the chat are in Europe. Like Dwarfenage is in North America, but Kajan, Flemhammer, can't remember where Mark is. Not sure where Apples, I don't know how to pronounce that, Apples is from. So yeah, so thank you all for hanging around for so late into the evening.
Well, thank you for having me. I have to say, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Happy to have you. Kajan says that I've been nagging you how to sculpt jaws with teeth and all that since the beginning. Well, Hydra did teeth. He already did that video. That's posted up.
Yeah.
But
I think what he means is kind of like possibly open jaws, because obviously he did the sculpting where the closed teeth. But I suppose sculpt jaw with open teeth with an open jaw with teeth, sorry, would be a bit more of a challenge, but
yes, that sounds like it.
I seem to recall watching. There's a guy. So a note on that. There's a guy who does these really cool videos on how he sculpts and converts the McFarlane Space Marines into more interesting Chaosy Space Marines. Anyway, and he had a very interesting point, which is to actually roll out teeth first, let them cure, and then stick them into whatever you want.
Yeah, so he stole that idea from Hydra.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And Hydra, Apples is saying that the scales technique from you is great. So good work.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No,
I'm happy if someone found something useful tonight.
I think they did. And people will find more stuff useful when we post this up. Well, it'll be posted up as soon as we end it. So, yeah, it'll live on.
Okay.
Okay. I gotta pull the
let's not
plug.
stress it. People, it was a joy.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Good night, everybody.